The AFL Premiership Season 2003, brought to you by Carlton, brewed since 1864, and our telecast sponsors, Carlton Draft. Draft beer at its best. Discount City Carpet Superstores. Truscott Hi-Fi, best advice, low price. Booze Brothers. Sky City Adelaide, the place to see footy on the big screen. Bunnings Warehouse, lowest prices are just the beginning. RAA Insurance. And Harvey Norman.
Is back. Wayne Carey makes his return to Premiership football in Melbourne this afternoon at the Telstra Dome in their round 2 clash against the Saints. 7-time All-Australian, 4-time best and fairest is this man, the heir apparent, Nick Riewoldt, 2002 rising star, the St Kilda best and fairest last season, and unquestionably one of the most exciting young talents we've seen in the game for many, many years. Carey and Riewoldt, just two of the stars on display this afternoon as St Kilda take on the Crows at Telstra Dome. And it's a big afternoon for that man. Mark Bickley plays his 250th game for the Adelaide Football Club, just the third Crow to do so. Dual Premiership captain in 1997 and 1998. Here's Aaron Hamill, the St Kilda captain, back in the side after missing round 1 with a hip injury. Just how fit is he? We'll find out this afternoon. An important leader in their side in what's a pretty young team. The Saints this afternoon will back themselves in against one of the most talented and red-hot in-form sides of the competition in the Adelaide Crows. As they burst through the banner, 50 games for Stephen Baker. It's developed into the #1 tagger with the St Kilda Football Club in the last couple of years. Good afternoon, welcome to the Telstra Dome. It's a round 2 clash, as I mentioned, St Kilda and the Adelaide Crows. Good afternoon to Wayne Schwass. And Wayne, good opportunity for the young Saints this afternoon against one of the best sides in the competition.
Yeah, Adelaide's the yard, or one of the yardsticks. They've got their first full list. Whether or not they're completely fit, I don't know, but they've got their first full list to pick from in 12 months. Great opportunity. Young players like Clark and Ball played exceptionally well last year. They'll welcome back their captain and Kazitsky. They'll be a better side with those two players coming back in.
Well, as Wayne mentioned, Grant Thomas has a full squad in his first time at Moorabbin, with the inclusion of Aaron Hamill and Justin Kazitsky this afternoon. We mentioned plenty of young talent on display this afternoon, Wayne.
Yeah, they're littered with young talent there, but I think the job today lies with St Kilda or any chance to win today with their senior players, none more so than Hutchinson, Kazitsky and Penny. They'll take on Stevens, Perry and Carey. It's a big ask, but they'll certainly need to shut down the Adelaide scoring opportunities.
They were gallant in round 1, the Saints. Actually led the Kangaroos by 1 point at 3/4 time before fading in the final term to eventually be overrun to the tune of 26 points. But there were plenty of positives to take out of it. And Mark Doran caught up earlier with St Kilda coach Grant Thomas.
Grant, you said during the week that it might be 4 weeks before the Saints got to their best. Aaron Hamill and Justin Kazitsky back, albeit underdone. That must have fast-tracked things a bit.
Yeah, it has. I mean, I actually didn't say that. I was asked a question with 7 guys that haven't played a game, how long do you think it'll take? And I said it'll probably take them 3 or 4 weeks, but I think every side's probably in the same boat. It probably takes 3 or 4 rounds until they get everything as good as they can. But no doubt the injection of Kazitsky and Hamill is going to be very good for us.
And they've both come back perhaps a touch earlier than expected.
Yeah, they have, but Aaron's was something that, like, he was really keen to play last week, and he's trained magnificently during the week, and training services have squared him away, and they're the guys that guide us as to whether they're available or unavailable. And you know, the same with Cossie. He had a terrific week of training, in fact the best I've seen him train since I've been at the club, and so you know, we're going to the game with a lot of confidence with those two.
Thanks, Zach. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Well, the Adelaide Crows, Wayne, are as red hot as any team in the competition. Great blend of youth and experience, and genuinely a premiership contender this year without question. There's the King, Wayne Carey. Very impressive last week on return, 4 goals.
Yeah, look, I think that he just complements Perry and Mark Stevens up forward. Between those 3 players and Tyson Edwards, they managed to kick 13 of the 22 goals last week. So they've got a good forward line to now kick long and direct towards Kerry as their focal point. But littered right throughout that side defensively and their midfield. They're littered with stars, and it's just a matter of whether or not St Kilda can match up evenly well and shut those particular players down as best they can.
And one late change for the Adelaide side. Matthew Boat is out of the side, replaced by James Gallagher, who had his best ever game at AFL level in round 15 last season against St Kilda when he racked up 23 possessions. Well, it is a bright sunny day, as you can see on screen. Beautiful day in Melbourne. The roof is open as we head boundary side. Here's Mark Doran.
Thanks, Jace. Good afternoon to you. Yeah, the sun will play a part. The roof will stay open. It's 22 degrees now, on the way to 23, and quite hot. The Crows actually thought the roof would be closed, so they might have had to pull out the sunscreen. What about the ground? There's been a lot of conjecture about this again. Wayne Carey said during the week it's the worst surface he's ever played on. Ian Collins during an inspection said the grass is so green you can smoke it. Well, somebody's certainly hallucinating, because the players keep saying it's the hardest surface they've got. Their calves pull-ups, or the penetrometer, for what it's worth, says the grounds are not too bad, and they've even managed to find the key. Go straight in. I don't know what they're talking about.
Doran there down boundary side will keep us up to date and everything happening right throughout the afternoon. There is Mark Bickley, one of Adelaide's all-time great players, Wayne, without question, dual premiership captain, and this afternoon becomes a third player to play 250 games.
It's a terrific effort, and congratulations do go out to Mark. He's been such a tenacious player over the years for Adelaide. Look, he finished off last year in a disappointing fashion, but it's good to see him back, and I hope that he has a terrific day this afternoon.
We'll hear more from Mark Bickley at half-time, but we're almost set to go. It's St Kilda, it's Adelaide, and it's coming up next.
In an all-new episode.
When's the last time you saw an optometrist?
She used to be blind as a bat. Now Marie's a sight for sore eyes.
Ta-da!
That's the style the kids are wearing now.
All-new Raymond at 7:30. Then at 8 o'clock.
You realise your head is tilted on a 23.5-degree axis. It's no wonder you're getting headaches. Well, is there anything you can do?
The all-new Aussie sketch comedy where Skid happens.
Thanks, Tom. That feels a lot better.
Happy Hour with Skid House and Raymond. Sunday on 10.
Network 10 and Harvey Norman are proud to bring you widescreen weekends. Don't miss this weekend's AFL action on Network 10 in widescreen. If you're watching standard television, this is all you'll see. If you have a digital widescreen television, you can see so much more of the game. See your Harvey Norman store for details about widescreen weekends. More action, more AFL, more excitement.
Foxtel for footy round the clock. Your team, every game, every week. Call 131 999 now and get it on.
Hi, guys, it's your mother.
You probably should take better care of your parents. But at least you can take care of yourself without feeling guilty, because your favourite Asian noodle soups are now 97% fat-free.
Is Dad here? Will you ring him, Mum?
McCain Healthy Choice is looking after yourself.
Serious about sport? Get Foxtel for the best coverage of AFL, plus Premier League soccer, plus the West Indies Tour live for just $14 a week. Get serious. Call Foxtel on 131 999.
Welcome back to the Telstra Dome in Melbourne. Beautiful day for football. Quite warm conditions. The roof is open as the two captains come together for the toss of the coin. Aaron Hamill and Mark Rasciuto. Aaron Hamill's won the toss. The Saints will kick to the left of screen in the opening term. That's the locket end. Mark Rasciuto there, the Adelaide captain. Goes back and informs his players. Almost set to go, both sides in their huddles. Good afternoon and welcome to Kevin Bartlett.
Good afternoon, Jason and Wayne. Looking forward to this game because St Kilda's probably been just about the most talked about side leading into this particular season. There's just been so much hype about St Kilda and some of their young players. Grant Thomas has suggested that in fact they've got their best side in, and this young boy there, Stephen Baker, last year playing his 50th game, finished third in their best and fairest last year. And there's Wayne Carey Great debut in the Wizard Cup, I suppose, for the Adelaide Crows, and very good last week as well. Wayne Carey, when he burst on the scene, of course, booting 4 goals for him. And I suppose this is the heir apparent, Wayne, to Wayne Carey. Everyone's talking about Nick Riewoldt.
Yeah, big raps on him, KB. That's a lot of pressure. Was very quiet last week. Was well held by Baird from the Kangaroos. So a player as young as he is, you'd expect him to bounce back today with a big game, and St Kilda will need that.
There's Stenglein, of course. Tyson does stop good players, has got the ability to put the stoppers on. So it'll be interesting to see who he picks up today. He's picking up, there's Robert Harvey. And of course, Robert Harvey, one of the greats of AFL football. Twice winner of the Brownlow medal. And let's hope get through this season without any injuries. And there's arguably the best player in the competition, the most exciting player, Andrew McLeod.
Interesting there, Jason. Nick Riewoldt, you might have thought he would have gone to Wayne Carey perhaps, but he's lined up on Brett Burton on the wing.
Set to go, it's round 2 action. St Kilda and Adelaide from the Telstra Dome. The Saints won the toss, will kick to the left of screen in the opening term. The Capuano to go in the ruck for the Saints. Clark up the tap, only as far as Riewoldt. First effective disposal of the game. Goes inside 50. Here's the dangerous Stephen Milne. Could be a dream start. Runs to 30 metres out. Goes for goal and kicks it. What a start for the Saints. Goal inside the first 20 seconds. And Stephen Milne, the excitement machine, has got one.
Yeah, Nick Riewoldt started on the wing, got in there nice and early off the lines, quick kick out of the pack. Stephen Milne, the replay will show quite clearly here that Riewoldt comes through, quick kick towards centre forward. Well, you might say there, KB, Milne should play in front of as a forward, but a player with that sort of pace and ability, used his experience, got behind, gathered the loose ball, and a good start for St Kilda.
Well, unfortunately, Tyson Stenglein went to ground. You don't want to go to ground when you're playing on this boy here. Last week, they're only multiple goal kicker for St Kilda, booted 4, and he is an exciting machine, Stephen Milne. So what a start it was for the Saints. And Nick Riewoldt coming off that centre square, playing on Burton, maybe trying to take a bit of pressure off Riewoldt. He has been the face of St Kilda. Speak of the devil, he's got it. All tied up in the tackle by Burton. So ball up still inside the centre square. And the St Kilda bench, we can see Swars down there on the bench, and Baker as well, who's playing his 50th game today for St Kilda. There's Clark pushing and shoving. Riewoldt got the tap. Ball pumped back by Powell. High ball inside 50. Backing back was McGregor, couldn't take it, but he's got the free kick. No, it's going to Hamill. Well, the skipper's back. He has such presence on the field, Aaron Hamill. And if he can kick St Kilda's second goal in 2 minutes, it will be the dream start. You can see there where McGregor all over Aaron Hamill, so it was a great umpiring decision. So Hamill will kick from right on 50, leans back, starts to bend it right to the line. Big pack of players, a big grab, taken by Koschitzky. This will bring a smile to the face of Grant Thomas. This young boy has had so many injuries. Last season, you see that shoulder very heavily strapped as well. And Koschitzky from close in kicks a goal.
Well, really, it's unforgivable, especially when you consider the experience and the name of the particular players in the Adelaide defence there. Kaczynski shouldn't have been able to mark the ball relatively easy there. I think the Adelaide players might have thought the ball might have been going through for a behind, but you can't allow a forward player from the opposition to take an easy mark on the goal line.
Amazing start for the Saints. We've gone 3 minutes. St Kilda have had 6 disposals, have 2 goals on the board. Adelaide, not 1 possession in the game as yet, and they already trail by 12 points. For a young side, vital to get confidence early in the game. And the Saints have got a flyer. Back in the middle. St Kilda have had 2 clean takeaways out of the middle of the ground so far. Capuano against Clark. Clark again got the hit out, but off the back edge of the square. This time it was Aussie Jones. Kicks towards centre half forward. The bouncing ball is tapped on by Milne inside 50. Another opportunity for the Saints through Hamill. Just can't quite get a handle on it. It's gathered now by Hayes. Hayes goes backward. Opportunity for Ball. Ball feeds out a handball to Hayes. Adelaide working hard defensively in their own 50. Bassett taken down by Koschitzky. Ball couldn't get an effective kick away. It comes to Milne. Stenglein's got a piece of him. Ball through again. It is hot in there at the moment. Laddams. Ball still moving forward for St Kilda. McGregor taken down and a fierce tackle by Hamill. Umpire says my ball. Adelaide on the ropes there inside their own defensive 50. Good, tough, physical 45 seconds of football.
It's amazing what one player can do to a side. They're here to play the St Kilda Football Club. Aaron Hamill, that's what he does best, in and hard, in and under the packs, putting pressure on in the forward line and maintaining possession.
So Saints still a chance. Clark, uncontested in the ruck. Got it down to Bickley. Thumps it towards the wing. Black slapped it to ground. John Cock tried to get it to Risciuto. Ball still live. Here's a chance for the Crows through McLeod. Searching kick to half forward, looking for Carey. Carey got the fist away at ground level. Burton against Rewalt, rather. Burton kept his feet. Runs to 50, steps inside Gehrig, runs to 35, Brett Burton goes for goal and just pops it across the face. In fact, there's a free kick against Burton for running too far, and the ball will come back to St Kilda.
Yeah, had the king there on his own, could have fed off the handball running into an open goal. Disappointing finish from Brett Burton.
So Gehrig with the resultant free kick in the back pocket for the Saints. He's got the job on Wayne Carey this afternoon. Goes short to Harvey and finds his former captain for his first possession at defensive 50. Robert Harvey, what a champion player he's been. 257 games for the Saints, 2 Brownlow medals. Goes towards the wing. His old mate Nathan Burke is the target. Hamill comes crashing through. Releases the hands to get the ball towards Lenny Hayes. He flicks it to Thompson. He's under pressure. The tackle came from John Cock. And the ball spills out of bounds.
Just notice a couple of things. The St Kilda players are off the lines when there's a centre bounce. They're first to the ball. There's numbers around the ball. They're certainly getting their presence around the ball, giving plenty of support to their teammates at the moment.
So throw in. Plenty of players around this one again. Clark got it down to Burton. Kick over his head towards the 50. Edwards and Black. Edwards tracks it back. Chance for Goodwin now. Just inside 50. Spots a target. It's Smart's got to wait underneath it. Did so and took a courageous mark.
Yeah, good mark under some pressure there. I just thought that Xavier Clark perhaps hesitated in his initial attempt to go and spoil. As a result of that, didn't get to Nigel Smart in time. Replay, just a hesitation there. Probably should have made his mind up to come back and spoil.
So here's Nigel Smart for Adelaide's first goal. And the veteran makes no mistake. The Crows are on the board at the Telstra Dome.
You know, I reckon you can tell it's the most powerful ute they've ever made just by looking at it. Yeah. I think we should take him for a run on the Salt Lake.
The new 260 kilowatt Falcon ute. It's unbelievably powerful.
2 straight goals to St Kilda. The Crows 1 straight goal, so 6 points the difference. Also, Nathan Burke has been taken from the field and Schwarz has been put straight onto Nigel Smart. So whether or not St Kilda are disappointed, there was no chasing down there for Nigel Smart. Stenglein might have his hands full today. Stephen Milne's already booted a goal. Tawney comes away. Great game last week. His first for the Crows after crossing over from Tigerland. And he finds Burton. 2 high flyers. Matthew Burton, the Birdman, on Nick Rewalt, playing on centre wing. So he's a cross half back. McLeod wants it short. Too much carry on the ball, and Harvey chips in and takes the mark. Inside 50, going to drop short. Wolf playing in front of Hart. I like Wolf as a player. I reckon he's one of the big improvers for St Kilda. He's quick, he can jump, he's athletic, and he can be a thumping kick. From outside 50, Wolf leans back. Great kick. Great goal. Three straight goals to St Kilda. They lead by 12 points.
A couple of things there, KB. The importance of a forward being in front. The kick from Robert Harvey wasn't... it floated actually a little bit off the boot, but Wolf was in front, took a good mark and a good goal. But again, it's another example. Where was the Adelaide ruckman? That ball just got over the line. There should have been a tall ruckman or a backman from the Adelaide Crows making sure that that ball was spoiled, marked or punched through from behind.
So St Kilda have come to play. They were very good last week for 3 quarters against the Kangaroos. Faded badly in the last term. But Grant Thomas says he's got nearly his best side in today. Koschitzke has already kicked a goal. So has Milne. So has Wolf. As Clark Always gets his hands on the ball first. Edwards caught in the tackle by Lenny Hayes. They'll pile on top. McLeod there fighting for the ball. So Xavier Clark. And we've got a ball up on the edge of the centre square.
KB, just wanted to ask Wayne, heard a whisper that Rewalt would play on the wing at the start of the game, just as much to keep Burton accountable and stop him going forward as Nick being able to go forward himself. Should the Crows look at tagging the winger?
Well, not at this stage, Mark. I think you've got to give him, let it run till quarter time, see how things are going. But I think it's a good move on the behalf of St Kilda.
Thompson to ball, dragged off his kick. Ricochets to Stephen Powell. Searching kick inside 50. Wolf's there. So's Milne. Spills to the back of the contest. Stengline. Little handball into the path of Ben Hart. And between them, they work it to the boundary for a throw-in.
I just think on the Rewalt move, rather than having defensively, it gets him into the play a lot quicker, and I think a good point Mark brought up, keeps Brett Burton a little bit more accountable because he does like to play a free-flowing, attacking game.
I think also, Wayne, it does take the pressure off Nick Rewalt a bit. I've never known a young boy to have so much publicity going into a season as Nick Rewalt. He is the face of St Kilda, and I think last week it may have taken its toll. He did struggle against the Kangaroos. I think they just want to ease him into the game. I would think at some stage that man on screen there will see him maybe go down forward, play in a more key position, but for the time being, he's on the wing.
10 possessions, 6 marks last week to Nick Rewalt. Stengline takes it from the congestion, gets it to Johncock, to the wing. Penny against Stevens. The ball goes out for a throw-in. Luke Penny came across from the Bulldogs at the end of last season. He was a trade for pick number 17 in the 2002 draft. There's the Adelaide bench. Gallagher, Riley, Biglands and Matner. Gallagher, a late change coming in for Matthew Bode. Throw in, just forward of the wing in St Kilda's favour. Plenty of plays around this one again. Rewald, little toe poke. Hamill used his body well. Created some space. Got it out to Harvey. Harvey to Powell. Powell will go high inside 50. Kazitsky will come through the contest. It spills to the back from Milne. Here's a chance. Can't quite get his hands on it at the moment. Edwards comes crashing in and takes Milne high. Free kick to Stephen Milne. 35 metres out. Fairly much directly in front, and a chance to kick his second. And Wayne just shows the, I guess, the esteem in which Stephen Milne is held. But Adelaide are putting their #1 tagger, Tyson Stengline, who usually runs with a midfielder, onto Milne.
Yeah, good point, Jason. And look, he's an exciting player, and as a player that's just continued his development from a stellar year last year. He looks out of the contest, but because he's got a lot of pace, he gets himself in and under the packs. The ball can be, generally he likes the ball to be put down on the ground so he can play his normal game.
40 metres out, Stephen Milne didn't like it off the boot, and that's the reason why.
But he's a handful, and I think it's a credit, and he should take it as a compliment that Adelaide have decided to put Stengline on him, and he's a forward-line player.
50 goals in 2002 for Stephen Milne, 8th in the AFL. Long kick in towards the centre, and Adelaide are away around the wing through McLeod into open space. He'll go searching inside 50. Well-weighted kick looking for Carey, and a free kick will come back, and it'll go St Kilda's way. Carey just cannoning into Xavier Clark in that marking contest.
Good play by Xavier Clark and a good courage. I don't know whether he knew that Wayne Carey was behind him, but he got himself in front of the opposition player and rewarded with a free kick.
Hand off to the run of Aussie Jones, who switches play to the dock side of the ground and finds Nick Rewalt. Second touch for him. Kicks across the wing. Hamill wrestling with Bassett. Free kick going the way of Nathan Bassett. Ball will come back. Umpire deems he caught Hamill across the shoulders. Nathan Bassett, who started his career in the reserves at Melbourne, was traded to Adelaide at the end of 1997. He's really stepped up to become one of their key defenders in the last couple of seasons. He goes towards half forward. Penny comes across the back of the contest to take the mark. He'll switch play again to Capuano at defensive 50. He's had a horror run with injuries, Matthew Capuano, over the years. Dual premiership player with the Kangaroos. Goes short to Hudgton. He switches back to Gehrig. Gehrig will now go to the outer side towards the loping Troy Schwartz. Johncock tries to get there to make a contest. Does well. He forced the ball to the boundary line. Give Adelaide another chance to go forward as Capuano comes to the bench for a spell. And he will be replaced by Barry Brooks, playing his second game of league football after coming over from Port Adelaide at the start of the season.
So the young man from King Island gets his chance today. Also good to see Luke Penny take an early mark. It'll be great for his confidence, and a lot of injuries with the Bulldogs. Aussie Jones from that last line of the fence goes short, finds Harvey, his partner in crime. Thompson from half back pumps the ball down, looking for Hamill. He's always the focus up forward, playing in front of Bassett. while he takes the ball over the line for a toss back in. So the Saints by 13 points.
I doubt whether there's a more important player to a club at the moment than Aaron Hamill. Just the way he goes about his footy sets a tremendous example, and it really leads from the front for the St Kilda side.
60 metres out from the Saints goal. Clark playing in front. Now the umpire, I think he wants the Belgian umpire to take two.
Why can't they do that for a throw up or a ball up there, KB?
You can, but it's rarely called. The umpire can call that if he wishes. I think it happened once last week in round one. Ball. Didn't quite get the handball away. Hamill can set it up, goes wide. There's a chance for Baker in his 50th game. Bangs it through.
Truscott Hi-Fi's huge pre-Easter TV clearance. 10 to 30% price reductions on a selected range of TVs. 10 to 30% off. Be quick. Truscott Hi-Fi. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
Peter, what difference does Bridgestone's tyre donuts technology really make?
About this much less stopping distance.
You've been talking to an expert at your Bridgestone Tyre Centre.
With a capital B.
Stephen Baker started on the bench in game number 50. He's first onto the scene, he's kicked the goal, so it's a great start for the Saints. 4-1-25 plays, 1 goal, 6. Powell tried to kick it out of the air. Fresh air shot. Pack of players and a ball up.
KB, Mark Bickley in game 250. He now finds himself on the bench. Brent Riley onto the ground.
And Bigland's also just biding his time on the boundary line. So Clark to do the ruck work. Burton comes over the top and slaps it down. Been pounced on by Powell. Edge of the centre square. Big penetrating kick. Wolf, the high flyer. They'll need a crummer at ground level. Bassett jumps on the ball. In comes Hamill. Just a little bit of body work. And we've got a ball up. And Biglands is on. And Matthew Clark off for the Crows.
Been a handy pick-up, Stephen Powell.
And charges into this ball up. Biglands, he ran a good 80 metres. Take that front position against Brooks. Tawney somehow weaved his way out of trouble. Rashudo, the raging bull, comes away from half-back. Looking for Stevens, needs a kind bounce, gets it. Stevens, 35 metres out, wild kick. Way off target. And out of bounds on the full.
Just need to take his time, Mark Stevens. Had some space, got himself into some open territory, hurried the kick, reportedly out of bounds on the full.
Hodgson. His target's going to be Rewald. Over the back was Rashudo, went the big fist. Biglands caught high. Will take the free kick.
So Biglands straight onto the ground and straight into the action. Didn't get a lot of match time last week. Just the 8 possessions. He'll go inside 50, looking for Carey. There's been an infringement off the ball. Holding. It's coming back. It's going the way of the Saints.
Well, the infringement obviously happened in the contest where Wayne Carey was. I'm not saying he was responsible for it, but of course, therefore, the ball comes back because this is a better advantage for the side rather than take it 50 metres behind.
So Rewalt to Powell. Thought about playing on, now called to go. Back to Rewalt. To centre half forward. Harvey lurks at the back of the contest. Big fist away from Tawney. Powell at ground level. Quick hands to Black. Spears a kick inside 50, looking for Burke and finds him. Open goal square, won't go the journey from there, you wouldn't think, Nathan Burke, so he'll pop it up to the top of the goal square. Players come from everywhere, Milne almost spins off. Tawney, great smother from McGregor, shut that down. And Nathan Bass runs through to behind, but Stephen Milne swooped on it again, just couldn't quite snatch it with one grab.
Doesn't need a lot of room to move in. He kicked a terrific goal like that last week, but Stephen Powell is certainly setting up a lot of the forward attacking thrust for St Kilda, and he's had 4 disposals in the first quarter.
Tawney to the outer side. Edwards and Jones. And the ball goes out of bounds. Important start this for the Saints. They lead by 20 points. Their record against Adelaide in recent times is pretty ordinary. They've lost 8 of their last 9 against the Crows by an average of 40 points. So to get a good start this afternoon will just build their confidence. Biglands and Brooks at ground level. Riley gets a kick towards half forward. Penny and Stevens jostling. The free kick will go to Adelaide. And Mark Stevens inside the centre square. The lead's on from Carey. The kick will pitch just in front of him. Gehrig on his shoulder. Carey gathers with the one hand. Twists and turns. Out towards the 50. Beautiful kick. Just swung it inboard to Riley. He goes from 45, had more time than he realised. Could have gone back and taken the kick. And he misses to the left-hand side. Brent Riley playing his third game of league football this afternoon after being Adelaide's first draft pick in 2001. He's an All-Australian under 18. Ozzie Jones with the kick in. It's called to move on by the umpire. He goes short to Harvey. Played on. Perry put enough pressure on to force it backwards to Jones. He trots out to defensive 35. Decides to head to the outer side. Puts it out in front of Powell. Got a couple to beat. And Hart just beat him to the contest on that occasion to take the mark. So Ben Hart, centre wing, city side of the ground, goes inside 50. Penny picked off the lead beautifully. Got across to take the mark. Luke Penny. He's got Rewalt in the middle of the ground in some space. The kick was a good one. And Rewalt takes the mark, coming up for his fourth touch. Chips it over the top to Powell, who's been everywhere. Powell can run to 55 metres out. Horror kick came off the instep. Towards the pocket, Milne. Not a lot of space to work in with Stenglein. Tries to turn him inside out and does. The Jack in the Box has got it. He'll step around onto his left boot and snaps a brilliant goal. It was touched. Bad luck for Stephen Milne. The human highlight reel did it again, but a good piece of defensive play, and he comes up with a minor score.
Such an exciting player. He thought he had it, but it was touched. The man on the mark, and he tried to get around. Got a fingertip to it.
He is a fair dinkum freak show, isn't he?
Well, he's an excitement machine, no doubt about that. The man with the dancing feet as Hart pumps the ball back wide. Bigland stands his ground. Rewalt trying to take the one hand up. McLeod on the charge, runs the centre wing, bumps the ball down. Carey's the target, had him in his sights. I think the sun might have gone in his eyes. On one knee, Carey bounces to his feet. Centering kick. Getting across is Penny. He's been a good player for the Saints in this first term. There's a couple of very good matchups. Thompson's playing on Rashudo and Harvey's playing on McLeod. And the Saints have got, no doubt, the Crows off balance. Wolf marks in front of Hart. Between half-back and centre wing to the half-forward line. Hamill is always their target when they go forward. They've got to make certain that they get a crummer at his feet, Wayne, because he's actually going to contest very hard, Aaron Hamill.
Yeah, they do, KB, but I just think with Aaron Hamill, the other dimension to his game, if there's no crummers around him, he's very good once the ball's hit the ground, recovering and gaining a second possession.
Good 75 metres around from St Kilda's goal. Capuano slaps the ball down. Hart's caught, wrapped up in the tackle by Thompson and Hamill. So let's have a look at Wayne Carey here. The ball just donged him on the scone.
Well, that's a falcon.
It's pretty difficult down that end. Of course, the city end of Telstra Dome, the sun, of course, in the eyes of the players.
And, of course, KB, the fans down on the boundaries, Wayne got hit in the head. You know, they were very caring for Wayne. Not there, no warm welcome for Wayne Carey at the moment from the Saints.
And the sun can be a problem at Telstra. Often we have the roof shut over the last 12 months or so, but today, a beautiful day in Melbourne, and the sun is shining and the roof is open. So it's the Saints by 20 points. Goal kickers, Baker, Koschitzky, Wolf and Milne. And for the Crows, just that single goal to Nigel Smart. Goodwin, tied up by Thompson. Been good in close. Chance for Lenny Hayes. Playing the hand pass, back to Milne, stands and delivers. He's off target. And through for a behind 1-3 to Stephen Milne. He's a problem up forward.
Yeah, he's certainly creating a few headaches. I think Lenny Hayes there, he was heading in the right direction. I'm not always confident when a handball goes back to a stationary target. Lenny Hayes was running towards goal. Might have been some pressure out there, but had the opportunity. I would have liked to have seen him have a shot on goal himself.
So Hart's told to hurry up, so he just pounds the ball back. And the free kick is going to Smart because Boyle was shipping him.
So Smart from defensive 50 to the wing and finds Burton. His third touch coming up. Stephen Powell leads the game with 8 possessions. Harvey's had 7. Rewalt 6 and ball 5 for the Saints. Towards half forward, Hudson, a well-timed fist, got it to ground. Clark taken in a ferocious tackle by Goodwin. And the umpire will call for a bounce. McLeod's had 4 touches for the Crows. 3 to Burton, Smart, Stenglein and Tawney. It's the Saints by 21 points. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the opening term. Bigland's got the tap, only as far as Hayes. Went to ground. Baker in there working hard for St Kilda. John Cock all over him. We'll have another bounce. Milne comes to the bench, replaced by Troy Schwartz.
That's interesting because you've got Powell on the bench, who's their leading possession winner at the moment with 8. You've got Robert Harvey's just been taken from the field as well. He's got 7. And you've got Milne, who's the most dangerous forward on the ground at the moment. So St Kilda's got Harvey, Milne and Powell on the interchange bench.
Biglands gets it to Laddams. A flying shot at goal from Laddams. Misses to the near side. So maybe Grant Thomas just trying to conserve the energy in the warm conditions. Extend their quarter-time break as Rashudo comes off to be replaced by Bickley. So plenty of moves being made off the bench. Just shows how warm it is. Aussie Jones's kick will have to come back because Fraser Gehrig was in the no-go zone as he kicked it. So Jones will set up and go again.
Each to their own, Jason, but I think when you've got players in good touch, I like to see them on the field. I think the adrenaline keeps running, and I don't think players probably need the rest that a lot of people think they do. We haven't even played one quarter of football yet, and Powell's doing well, and Harvey, and also Milne. But Grant Thomas wants to conserve some energy.
Jones to Thompson to Rewalt. Hands it off to Hayes. He's got a man in open space in the centre of the ground. It's Baker. Already kicked 1 goal this afternoon, Stephen Baker. High kick inside 50. They'll contest 30 metres out. Hamill over the top. Interferes with his opponent. And the free kick will come back to Ben Hart. Had the jumper held. He dishes off to McLeod for his 5th touch. Just lopes away from defensive 50. Bickley lays the shepherd on Kazitsky as McLeod dishes to Edwards. To Mark Stevens. High kick inside 50. Goodwin and Carey there for Adelaide. Goodwin at the front. Good fist from Gehrig. Capuano gets it back to Gehrig. He flips a little handball over the top to the run of Lenny Hayes for his 5th touch. Just trots away from half-back. Shocking kick. He's touched off the boot. Went straight to Stevens. To Smart. Flips one over the top to Bickley. Bickley goes inboard to the run of Bassett. 70 metres out, inside 50. Beautiful kick. Just beyond the outstretched grasp of Capuano. And the mark taken by Goodwin, 45 metres out, directly in front.
Yeah, both sides are encouraging loose players to drop back and fill the hole, and I guess it just comes down to a matter of disposal and who uses the ball a little bit better. St Kilda all away, but it was a poor kick, found Mark Stevens. They were able to rebound, and Simon Goodwin, you would think, without putting the moz on him, kick a goal.
So Goodwin, 45 metres out, kick on its way, as you can see, tugged it to the right, and misses. Opportunity goes begging there for Simon Goodwin. Adelaide a 1-3-9. Trailing the Saints 4-4-28. There is some talent sitting on the bench at the moment for both sides as Jones goes to the dock side of the ground and finds Lenny Hayes at defensive 50.
Yes, because Stephen Milne's just a burst player on the forward line at the moment. You'd think he'd get plenty of rest.
Getting some work on his shins, KB. I'm not actually sure that he is part of a rotation. He might actually be just feeling the ground a little bit.
Shin soreness. John Cock on centre wing. Tried to find Burton, was caught high, and will take the free kick. So it's been a very interesting duel between Burton and Rewalt. They both had a fair bit of the ball. John Cock stands and delivers, belts the ball back. Big pack of players. Edwards pounced on it. Does well, needs support. Stevens. Lenny Hayes just paddles the ball along in front. Don't argue. Hayes is the strongest. Just fended off 2 Crows players, picked up that time by Aussie Jones. Waiting back, building the wall is John Cock. To Burton, edge of the centre square. Stevens is the target. Clark did fantastically well. Knocked the ball down, taken by Hudson. He's caught in 3 mines, not 2 mines. Didn't know where to go. Picked up that time by Gehrig. Thumps the ball back. Chance for Capuano. Second grab, got it. Also had a lot of injuries with St Kilda since coming across from the Kangaroos. This is his chance without Peter Everett to really put his stamp on the club. Clark, one of the most exciting young players in the game, backs himself in. McLeod chases hard, picked up by Burt, quick hands. Baker, right to line. Rewalt! Couldn't take it. Hamill around the corner, smothered off the boot. Rewalt. Tied up right on the line as the siren sounds. Terrific first quarter by the Saints. They lead 4-4-28. The Crows 1-3-9.
So it's the Saints by 19 points at the opening change. Had plenty of the football in that first term, and they'll go to the break full of confidence. St Kilda by 19 points as we take a break.
10 News Update. A massive new assault on Baghdad. The bombing campaign launched after Allied forces seized the international airport, said to have been a Republican Guard stronghold. Latest video supposedly of Saddam Hussein on a meet and greet in Baghdad. Women apparently behind Iraq's latest suicide bombing, which has claimed 5 lives. And an amazing survival after a plane crash killed 6. Details 10 News.
He says he loves her, but he treats her bad and dislikes her friends.
I wanted Gabriel to have dinner with us tonight.
Next time tell me and I won't come.
Is this the real you? Because if it is, I don't want any of it.
Is this the end? Secret Life of Us, 8:30 Monday.
Stock up for Easter with a carton of VB, cans and stubbies, only $28.99. Vodka Cruiser stubbies, $9.50 a 4-pack or $49 a carton with a bonus long neck. Or Rosemount 6-pack, 2 Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon and Shiraz, plus a bonus bottle of Cab Sav, all for $66.99. Check out the Easter catalogue for other great specials.
Truscott Hi-Fi's huge pre-Easter TV clearance. 10 to 30% price reductions on a selected range of TVs. 10 to 30% off. Be quick. Truscott Hi-Fi. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
When are you going to get here? Look at a bus. Then get a taxi. Fellas, we need you. But what?
Oh, you joke. Hey, Dave. Baz and Kev aren't coming. Flat battery.
I told them. They should have got a century. So who looks silly now?
All right. Here's one for you. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Why, the chicken, of course. 14 pieces of original recipe chicken, then the chips, coleslaw and potato and gravy. Then, after all that, come the eggs. Cadbury chocolate Easter eggs. So now you know the chicken does come before the egg, but only with an Easter feaster from KFC. Truscott Hi-Fi's huge pre-Easter TV clearance is on now. $200 off Thomson 51cm flat screen stereo teletext TVs. Truscott Hi-Fi. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
Look out. Do you find farts funny? That's disgusting.
Tuesday sees 45 Melanie C, Natalie Imbruglia, Jerry O'Connell, and the Violent Femmes live.
That wasn't the sound we rehearsed.
At Chock-a-Block Road, Tuesday on 10.
Start for the Saints here at the Telstra Dome. St Kilda 4-4-28, leading the Crows 1-3-9, 19 points the margin at quarter time. All single goal kickers in this game. Major ball winners, Stephen Powell's had 8 possessions, Harvey, Hayes and Rewalt 7 apiece for the Saints. For the Crows, 5 each to McLeod and Burton, 4 to Johncock, Smart and Mark Stevens. Great start for the Saints as Gary Ayres lays down the law to his troops. The young Saints have come out firing. Great for their confidence, Wayne, to get that early goal from Stephen Milne in the first 20 seconds, and from there their tails were really up and their belief just grew.
Without a doubt, Jason, they've certainly come to play, and I think it's a timely reminder for the Adelaide Crows, and I'm sure that Gary Ayres will be getting that message across. It doesn't matter who you play and how badly that it's been suggested they've been going. At AFL level, on any given week, if a side turns up to play, they can knock you off. But when you consider the Adelaide Crows running midfield, Edwards, Goodwin, Rashudo and Laddams have totaled 6 possessions between the lot of them. Conversely, nicely. Powell's got 8, Harvey 7, as does Hayes and Rewalt. And I think the interesting battle between Rewalt and Burton, 7 possessions to Nick Rewalt, 5 to Burton. But I just think the manner that Rewalt has been able to set up St Kilda's attacking thrust, you certainly have to say he's won the battle so far, KB.
Yes, and they're going to Rewalt on the wing because we know he's such a good mark. He's already taken 2, but he's contested very, very strongly. Thompson playing on Risciuto early in the game was a good move because he had 5 possessions to Risciuto. 1 we saw Risciuto also on the bench. Harvey on McLeod, that's a great matchup. And I think Gehrig's done very, very well on Wayne Carey. He's played very close and he's actually matched the King when it's come to the strength department. And certainly when the ball's hit the ground, he's been very quick.
4 possessions to Gehrig, 2 to Carey as we had boundary side. Here's Mark Doran.
Thanks, Jason. Grant Thomas, good enough to let me listen in. I've listened into the Saints a few times. They've got more spirit than I've heard before. Grant Thomas, again, very positive as he was, said the pressure at ground level, especially in the forward line, is why they lead at the moment. But beware, because this is often St Kilda's worst term. He made that very clear to his players that if they can win this term, they're in a very good position to go on with it.
Possessions in the first term, 79 to 45 in favour of St Kilda. And the telling stat, Wayne, handball receives 23 to 12. The Saints just running the ball much harder.
Yeah, there's a definite willingness from the St Kilda players to run, support, back in each other and show a lot of confidence.
Second term from the Telstra Dome. It's the Saints by 19 points. Clark up the tap, but Hayes picked it off, got it to Rewalt. Intercepted by Riley. Inside 50 for Adelaide. Clark goes across the front of the contest and takes a very good mark. Xavier Clark. They break to the outer side for him, and the mark is taken by Thompson. To the run of Black on the overlap. To half forward, John Cock just worked ball under the footy. Coming out to attack it was Bassett. Slams it on the boot back towards the wing. Thompson almost dragged the mark, and then a good tackle laid on him. Play on's the call. Comes back to Black. Hamill goes short and finds Harvey on the logo. 8th touch for Robert Harvey. Spears the kick inside 50 to Rewalt. Couldn't quite hang on. Goes to the support of Jones. They load up again, this time to Milne. He couldn't quite grab it either. Uses his pace to accelerate away from Stengline and then pull it back. Here comes John Cock. Crash. Did well, John Cock. Got to his feet and beat 2. Great play from Bassett to Smart. And they come away towards the wing, but only as far as Jones. Adelaide defence under pressure. Jones wants to move it quickly and finds Thompson. He'll set up 75 metres out from goal. Thompson, short pass is a good one. And third time lucky for the Saints inside 50. This time it hits a chest. And it is the chest of Aaron Hamill.
Yeah, look, they're just creating so many problems down in their forward line. They've got a good mix of a couple of strong leading forwards, as in Aaron Hamill, but also that little live wire Stephen Mills just giving Tyson Stengline the runaround at the moment.
They kept their heads well that time, the Saints. They went inside 50 twice. It didn't come off for them. They just set themselves up across half forward again. And finally got reward, finding Aaron Hamill coming up for his 6th possession. Kick on its way. Looks straight. Has it got the legs to get there? It does. Great start to the second term for the Saints. Hamill's got his first.
When are you going to get here? Look at a bus. Then get a taxi. Fellas, we need you. But what?
Oh, you joke. Hey, Dave. Baz and Kev aren't coming. Flat battery.
I told them they should have got a century. So who looks silly now?
Saints by 25 points. Aaron Hamill, first game for the season. He is certainly the focal point up forward. He's got great presence for St Kilda. And the Saints, at the moment, are first to the ball, winning the ball at ground level, and they're looking a bit too quick. Powell, running with the fire of the ball, not paid. A bit too quick for the Crows. Smart on hands and knees. Was that a free kick? The ball, he's got it. They are desperate, St Kilda. They're running hard, putting their bodies on the line. They're running in numbers. Waves of St Kilda players coming down the ground. And they have completely shocked the Adelaide Crows here at Telstra Dome. They are off balance, the Crows. They may not have expected such an inspired St Kilda, who's turned up after kicking that opening goal from Stephen Milne just a few seconds into that first quarter. Here's ball. One of the young guns for the Saints. From right on 50. Beautiful kick. Super goal. Saints by 31 points. And they've thrown down the gauntlet to the Adelaide Crows.
It's not surprising the Saints are in front. They've gone inside 50, 17 to 12. There's not much of a difference there, but they've been far more efficient. They look as though they're going in there with purpose. The interesting statistic though, Jason, out of the centre square, the Saints have got 5 clean possessions out of 5 different ball-ups.
Makes a big difference. Adelaide are the #1 clearance side in the competition last season. St Kilda were ranked 15th. So it was always going to be an area that St Kilda needed to get on top of. And they certainly have done that, and it shows on the scoreboard. 31 points the margin. Capuano to go again out of the middle against Clark. Capuano stands across the line. Clark cannons into him and gives away the free kick.
And another centre clearance here.
Capuano to Powell. Powell spears it inside 50. Bassett goes back with the flight at ground level. Hamill and Milne. Milne goes to ground. Hamill keeps fighting on. He and Bassett take it to the line. And we'll have a throw in about 35 metres out from St Kilda's goal. And it all starts in the centre for them. Getting the ball forward, and again disposals this quarter so far 19 to 7 in favour of St Kilda for an amazing match total of 98 to 52. Tawney tries to spin out of the Thompson tackle, can't do so. Powell keeps it alive to the top of the square. One-on-one contest. Kazitsky there, spills to Capuano, couldn't quite get a handle on the football. McGregor taken in a tackle by Kazitsky, and we'll have a bounce 20 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Just puts Adelaide on the back foot, doesn't it? The game at the moment is being played inside St Kilda's forward 50. As we look at clearances, 10 to 4. St Kilda dominating. Bickley emerges through the congestion, releases the handball to Smart. He weaves through the traffic. Stengline got a shocking bounce. Danger here for Milne, only needs half a chance. Gathers on forward 50. Takes Stengline on by foot. From the boundary line, squares it to the goal square. Bassett read it well. Takes the mark and dishes off to Ben Hart.
Just ambles away from the back pocket, trying to set it up, goes wide, finds Goodwin, the All-Australian. Beautiful kick, finds Tyson Edwards on the stretch, through the centre square to the half-forward line. He's looking for Perry, got Hutchinson a beat, tied up on the tackle, does well, Edwards. Take 2 from outside 50, looking for Carey, forced onto the ball that time by Fraser Gehrig. He's playing Wayne Carey very well at the moment. And Rewalt again on the stretch, couldn't take it. Over line for a toss back in. Saints by 31 points. 6-4-40 plays 1-3-9. And that man on screen's had a good game so far. Nick Rewalt. He's had it 9 times. He's taken 2 marks. And we see Riley off and Risciuto on for the Crows. Rewalt, clever play. Just hacked it out of the air to centre wing. On the burst is Aussie Jones. Brings the St Kilda fans to their feet. Aussie on the charge, inside 50. In front, great grab, Kashitsky. Super grab. Now this young man kicked a goal in the first quarter. And Grant Thomas has been looking for this young man who is the rising star of 2001 to get fit, get him back into this St Kilda side. And what an option he will be up forward. Wearing the famous Stewie Lowe number, going for goal number 2, 55 metres out, leans back, unloads, great kick! Hammers it home! And the Saints by 37 points.
Feeling lucky? Play in the Black Rhino Pokey Tournament for your chance to share in 40 grand. It's free and only until April 17 at Sky City, Adelaide.
Wonderful performance from the Saints. They lead by 37 points 8 minutes into the second term. And remarkably, they're doing it by playing Adelaide and beating them at their own game. Clearances and running the ball hard. Possessing the football. And it's Adelaide's go, but today it's been all St Kilda. Risciuto, just his second touch coming up. Handball to Tawney. Smothered. Hayes. The Saints go forward again inside 50. Hamill crunched. At the back, Milne. Runs to 15 metres out. There's another one. Milne's got 2 and the Saints are on fire. Robert Hart Davey comes to the bench to be replaced by Schwartz. And the trend just continues. St Kilda getting forward from the centre. Inside 50s this term 6-2. Disposals 29-16. And Stephen Milne's got 2 goals.
He's just creating all sorts of headaches, but get the runner out there and go straight to loop ball. That smother in the centre square set that goal up. That was fantastic play from a second game player.
Clearance is 16-7 now in favour of the Saints. Adelaide were the best clearance side in the competition last year. St Kilda were 15th. And there's another one through Powell. Only as far as Hart. To the outer side to Gallagher for his first touch. Ball sits up for him. He kicks towards half forward. Powell and Bickley will go at it. Bickley takes it but goes to ground. Hayes comes in to shut him down. And the umpire calls for a bounce.
In that best passage to play, Stephen Powell ran with Brett Burton towards the contest. Brett Burton took the opportunity to think that Mark Bickley would win the competition. He broke forward. Stephen Powell did the right thing, went to the contest. Just a contrasting difference of both sides at the moment.
Rewalt towards Moyle. Squeezed up on the boundary line. Burton couldn't take it. Aussie Jones keen to take the ball over. Boundary throw-in, come off the boot. Burton goes short. Getting back is Moyle. Now he can really play this boy, Brett Moyle. He's had a few injuries as well. But he's a raking left footer. Saints far too switched on for the Adelaide Crows. Running harder. They're desperate. They're enthusiastic. They've come to play. Saints alive. Rewalt was the target. Front of the pack. Tawney from half back. Just wobbles the kick forward and finds McLeod. It's been okay. Hasn't been devastating. Goes short. And Perry marks in front. See there the Adelaide Crows. Last goal 32 minutes away. In Perry. Now Grant Thomas working the phone. Well, being a left footer, he's on his preferred side. Part of the two-pronged attack with Carey and Perry from 48 metres. Right to the line, pack of players. Saints get a fist of the ball. Force it over for a behind.
There's a good example of the St Kilda ruckman getting down towards the goal square and making sure that if it did fall through or did head towards the line and taper off, they punched it through for a behind.
Saints by 42 points. Aussie Jones to bring the ball back. Finds Thompson. Been very slow today, the Crows, in picking up. They just haven't been awake to the fact that Saints have, particularly around the centre square, have moved the ball so quickly by hand and foot. Got in hard for the ball, particularly at the bounce. Coming off the centre wing. Good kick, finds Schwartz. Started on the bench from half back to the half forward line. Here's danger now. Milne will try and lead him under the ball. Stenglein has had trouble with Milne today. The live wire this time. Good play by Stenglein. Just pushed him off. Bassett will share the ball with Goodwin. Finds Risciuto. Low par today. Thumps the ball back towards the half forward line and getting back is Penny. It looks like it's been a pretty handy pickup. He's given the Saints a bit of size in defence. Aussie Jones coming off a great season last year. Looks like he's back to his full confidence. He was All-Australian. And he was the star for the Saints. Here's Wolf. Couldn't take it. Make that Powell correction. Hard under pressure. From Stenglein. Goes short. Finds Gallagher. He's coming to the side to replace Bowe. To the half-forward line. Perry stands his ground. Good thump away that time by Max Hudson. Rewalt and Burton in the contest. Pounced on by McLeod. Danger. Looking for Carey. Free kick.
Didn't need to in the end, KB, did he? The ball was going to go over his head anyhow.
I suppose keen to make a contest, not wanting Carey to have an easy run to the ball. Fraser Gehrig's been very good today. Forward line's working well for St Kilda. Got a good balance on their forward line with Hamill and Milne, Koschitzky and Wolf. And the back line has been very solid. Carey from a very tough angle. Across the face. And the St Kilda fans are ecstatic because it's out of bounds on the full.
Well, he had 25,000 people screaming for him last week. He's got quite a few thousand the opposite today.
Wayne Carey making the point there. The ball actually came off the player's hand and was hit into the behind post, which means it should be a throw-in. Boundary umpire didn't agree. Gehrig over the top to Aussie Jones. Creative run off half-back from Aussie. Just pulled off his kick. The mark taken by Burton. Goodwin to Bickley. From just outside 50, goes for an open goal square. Then hits the post. So behind the mark, Bickley, things just not quite going Adelaide's way at the moment. They trail by 41 points. They've gone 14 minutes in the second term. Midfield possession 78 to 48 in favour of St Kilda. That's the equivalent of having 3 additional midfielders in the game. You've got 3 extra players running around. It makes it pretty hard to match them all up. Ball to Rewalt. His 11th touch to Thompson for his 9th. Sells the dummy to Burton. High kick towards 50. Baker's going to have to go for St Kilda. Off his hands at ground level. Edwards wrapped up in a tackle by Moyle. Released the handball to Rashudo. To Goodwin. To Burton for his 8th possession. Equal with Smart in the game for Adelaide. Squares it up to Johncock. And he dishes it off to Tyson Edwards. Back to Johncock, and they work it through the middle of the Telstra Dome. Straight up the middle looking for Perry. Hudson got a fist to it. At ground level he won it as well, Max Hudson. To Jones, to Black. They come away from defensive 50. Goes to the run of Xavier Clark. He puts it out in front of Barry Brooks. Takes the mark. Can go from 50. The big man towards the goal square. Hamill's there. He flies. Hamill couldn't quite take it. Kazitsky off the ground. Sockers towards the goal line. And Goodwin gets back to save the day for Adelaide. Dishes to Ben Hart. Around the wing. Looking for Edwards. Clark arrived late. Smart keeps it alive for Adelaide. They just lifted the tempo in the last couple of minutes. And Baker takes it to the line.
Xavier Clark's a very good player. Last year was one of their young players who really burst on the scene. Here's Rewalt. Hamill, I should say. It was very much like Ablett's mark, wasn't it, over Perth there, the way he's come back over the shoulders there of Bassett.
Did everything but bring it down. Rewalt taps it down. Bickley to Burton. And the bounce to Johncock. To Bassett. And now the Crows go forward through Stengline. Moyle runs him down from behind. He's under pressure. St Kilda 1%ers have been fantastic this afternoon. Bickley tries to work his way through traffic. Steps through the Thompson tackle. Gives it to Goodwin, who from 48 metres out goes for goal and kicks Adelaide second. Well, it took until the 16.5-minute mark of the second term, but the Crows have their second goal through Simon Goodwin with his 9th disposal as Clark comes off to be replaced by Rhett Biglins.
Simon Goodwin got himself into some space there, but look, it's a much-needed goal for Adelaide. The thing about Adelaide at the moment, they're getting beaten at their own game. When things aren't going according to plan, you can't persist with playing the same game plan. You've got to go to plan B. What that is, I'm not too sure. There's players out there that are normally very good deliveries of the ball. At the moment, they're not hitting their targets. So whilst they did register a goal, there's still a lot of work to be done by the Adelaide Crows.
I don't think, Wayne, there's been any easy kicks or any easy handballs for the Adelaide Crows. I think we've got to pat St Kilda on the back because we're seeing their tackling. It's been ferocious. So is their chasing. I think they've really surprised the Crows with the amount of pressure they've been able to exert today. Here's Rashudo. There's a typical example. Very few times have they been able to get a clean disposal without a St Kilda player hanging off.
Centre clearance is 8-0 in favour of St Kilda for the game, KB, so they haven't been able to get one clear disposal out of the middle.
And you can see there the ball magnets, the first 5 are St Kilda players. Biglins got his hands on the ball, taken away by Thompson. Hamill to Harvey, wants a kind bounce. The champ will run to 40, closes to 35, can't bend it back. And I suppose if there has been a weakness in his game over the years, it has been that he hasn't really been a goal kicker.
KB, of those ball magnets, apart from Rewalt, they've all spent plenty of time on the bench. Grant Thomas very aware that his side might be underdone, and he does want to keep them fresh for the second half, particularly the last turn.
Well, Mark, Rewalt has taken a beauty. He's great overhead. Here's Moyle's left foot. He should kick a goal, 35 metres out, and nails it.
Have you ever felt like you were being watched?
I got this scumbag at my mother's bedroom window.
What if a peeping Tom was watching you?
All the women to perv on you had to pick a magistrate.
And saw something he shouldn't have.
I know where a body's buried. One that no one knows about.
Aussie drama's so good.
Police!
You can't take your eyes off it.
Get down on the ground!
With a twist you won't see coming.
Hey, Mum, I've always thought that you were honest. I don't think I could cope if I found out that you weren't.
All new White Collar Blue, 9:30 Monday on 10.
What I liked about Rewald then was that, and we said earlier that he'll start on the wing, but then they'll move him down forward, which is what they've done. But even though he hurt his ankle, he bounced to his feet straight away and got back. Wasn't sort of concerned about his own safety or his own injury at that particular point of time. And again, St Kilda making it an Indian arm wrestle. Just over 7 minutes left in this second term. 59 plays 17. Lead by 42 points after leading by 19 points at quarter time. Schwartz tries his hand as a ruckman, taken by John Cock. Quick kick to 50. Black's been very good today. Gallagher got the bounce he wanted, didn't really hit a target, and John Cock works his way back out of trouble to Perry under pressure again. St Kilda fantastic. Baker puts the pressure on. St Kilda going in very hard. They want holding the ball, they've got it. This is super play from the Saints. There's Hamill on the bottom of the pack. What a success story he's been since coming across from St Kilda, from Carlton, and now the captain of the Saints. Hamill goes wide. Slack checking by the Crows. Schwartz has got it. Too far out the score. Rewalt on the lead. That's been ignored. Short. And Edwards read it well.
So Tyson Edwards, 7th touch coming up. Goes to Bassett. Switches play to the dock side of the ground. Rewalt sets himself. McGregor will fly from behind. At ground level, Hart tidies up. To Goodwin. To McGregor. Releases McLeod. Runs to 60 metres out. Neat pass. And on the lead finds Mark Stevens. It's not often in this game, Wayne, so far that they've been able to work the ball through the middle without that pressure.
They have, and that's the difference there. Andrew McLeod, he's got great skills. The delivery of the ball was perfect to Mark Stevens, not allowing the St Kilda defender any opportunity there. Lace out centimetre perfect. And look, that's been the difference for Adelaide. They've been breaking down in that area, so hopefully it's the start of things to come for the Crows.
5th touch for Mark Stevens. 35 metres out from goal. Kick on its way. And he's got Adelaide's third.
Discount City Carpets, your one-stop flooring shop, guarantees Adelaide's lowest prices on its massive range of carpets, timber flooring, rugs and vinyls. No matter what price you get elsewhere, Discount City Carpets will beat it, guaranteed. You must see the latest release of ceramic tiles, the Builder's Choice, a stunning range of 14 styles of floor tiles in today's subtle colours. The Builder's Choice range at Builder's Prices. Discount City Carpets. Superstores and Super Warehouse, guaranteeing the lowest prices.
Margin back to 36 points. In the middle of the ground, Brooks will go again. Against Biglands. Biglands got the tap, then followed up and won his own ball. Kick goes backwards, but there's 2 Crows to run onto it. McLeod just fumbled. Clark there puts his body in for St Kilda. McGregor couldn't get an effective disposal. Harvey flips it over the top to Aussie Jones. Draws 2 Adelaide players to him and gives it to Thompson. Tumbles one inside 50. Smart punches it away from Burke. John Cock at ground level. Dishes to Nigel Smart. Sweeping handball to Bickley. Adelaide starting to get some run in their game. Stengline puts it out in front of Goodwin. And some of their prime movers starting to get some football. Goodwin inside 50. It's a one-on-one contest. Penny did well. Just worked Perry under the ball. Ian Perry just 3 touches for the game. St Kilda around the Dockland side. Hutchton, a man in space, it's Milne, 75 metres from goal, goes inside 50 and hits his skipper on the chest. Hamill spots a man 25 metres out from goal, it's Xavier Clark. And they are queuing up inside forward 50 at the moment.
Yeah, good piece of play. Smart play from Xavier Clark. He's actually playing, his direct opponent is Tyson Edwards, who's actually meant to be slipping back in the defensive 50, playing loose man behind. But when your direct opponent comes down, presents himself in the 4 line, it's a must, it's a necessity that you go and pick up that opponent.
So Clark's first shot at goal for season 2003 is a wobbly one, and he misses to the left-hand side.
He got too close to the man on the mark. He's a beautiful kick, Xavier Clark, and he just found himself getting too close, and just got to go back, settle himself, and make certain he gets the same sort of run-up he does when he's kicking the ball from around the ground, because he is a beautiful kick. 9-6-60 St Kilda, and the Crows 3-5-23. They trail by 37 points. McLeod starting to win a bit of the ball inside 50. Some pushing and shoving, and doing it well was, that time was Jason Tawney. Who had a great game last week, 28 possessions, and this former Richmond player has really made his mark with the Crows so far this year. McLeod can be the danger man, starting to pick up some possessions now. That was possession number 9. Tawney from 40 metres out, directly in front, kicks a goal. So a miss it run in by Xavier Clark, and of course Jason Tawney playing across half-back, and this year expected to play a midfield role also with the Crows. St Kilda 9-6-60, they lead by 31 points, 4-5-29 the Crows. And we've played nearly 26 minutes into this second term. Edwards to Matner, comes away from the edge of the centre square. Great grab! The Birdman, Burton over the top, plays on, kicks a goal. And all of a sudden, the Crows have come alive. It is such a great grab. Just injured himself a little bit on landing. But we've come to expect this from Brett Burton. This man who's got springs in the legs. Up over the top of Wolf. Superman.
Superman had the Birdman all over it. He had the sit, but more importantly, Adelaide got a clear break out of the centre. They were able to manage to get their hands on the ball, and the importance of getting it out cleanly and quickly out of the centre square.
Wayne, the Bird might have a broken wing here. He's had to come straight off the ground. I think they'll get that Bird off and have a look at that ankle. That's not good at all. The right angle you can see him feeling. I think it was the contact when he hit the deck.
Did land awkwardly. And get some attention down on the boundary line. Brooks got the tap. McLeod. Now Adelaide starting to win the ball out of the middle. Powell tries to spin out of the tackle. Ball comes to Brooks. Been busy in the second term, Barry Brooks. Towards half forward, Adelaide got a man back. It's Goodwin. So Simon Goodwin with just over 2 minutes remaining. The Crows have clawed their way back to within 25 points. Big fly from Wolf. At ground level, Lenny Hayes twists and turns around the boundary line. Goes looking for Rewalt. Over the back of the contest, Goodwin sits and waits. Taken in a tackle by Clark. Just popped one across the top of the head. And we'll take a free kick.
Momentum has changed a little bit. The Adelaide Crows are just starting to generate a bit more run. With only a couple of minutes remaining, it's important that St Kilda hang on and certainly don't allow Adelaide to score one more goal before the half-time break.
Margin got out to 43 points. 8.5 minutes into this term. It's now back to 25. As Wolf comes off to be replaced by Luke Ball. Bassett hands off to Bickley. Bickley goes towards half forward and finds Tawney, presenting himself up forward at the moment for the Crows. Chips it over the top, and man in space is Riley. And the Crows just steadily working their way back into this contest over the last 10 to 15 minutes. And they've got it back to a manageable 25 points. As I mentioned, it was at the 43, 8.5 minutes into this term. Here's Brett Riley. 2 goals, 1 in his 3-game career. 48 metres out from goal. Kick on its way. It's going to go right to the line and hits the post. So Riley 2 behinds this afternoon. And the margin back to 4 straight goals. Less than a minute remaining in this second term, with Aussie Jones again doing the kicking in duties. He goes short to Hodgson and finds him in the back pocket. 6 touch for Max Hodgson.
Brett Burton has not only got the right shoe off, they're now about to ice his right ankle, which could suggest the end of him for the match.
Hodgson switches play to the outer side. Less congestion on that side of the ground. Jones to Black. One-on-one contest between Carey and Hamill. Bounce favoured Carey. Takes it to the line. And a throw in. 28 seconds remaining in the half. It's been a great one from St Kilda. There is Brett Burton in that troublesome right ankle. I'll get him in the rooms at half-time and assess it properly. One of the occupational hazards of being a high flyer, I guess. Bigland's got the tap. Edwards to Bickley. Gallagher couldn't quite break the Baker tackle. Powell tracks it back for the Saints. He's taken by Marty Matner. Turnover came to McLeod. Time for the Crows. They need a clean possession. Riley gets it to Bickley. Bickley will go inside 50. Adelaide need a mark. Stevens will attack this from the back. It spills to Hodgson. And the danger passes for St Kilda as it comes out to Ozzie Jones. And the siren sounds for half-time. And I'm sure if you had have offered any St Kilda fan a 4-goal lead at the main break before this game, they would have happily taken it. It got out to as much as 43 points, their lead, early in that second term, before Adelaide just steadied with a few late goals. But St Kilda still in the driver's seat at the main break. They're 9-6-60, Adelaide 5-6-36. As Brett Burton is carried to the rooms for the half-time break in that term. St Kilda adding 5 goals 2, Adelaide 4 goals 3. How bad's the Birdman injury? We'll find out at half-time. Mark Doran will be down there sniffing around to find out what he can, and we'll get back to you on that one. It is half-time, the Saints by 24 points.
What do you do when you can't get Hollywood's hottest star for your movie?
We're making this movie with Kit Ramsey, except he won't know he's in it.
Improvise.
His fear is so real.
Steve, Eddie and Heather in Bowfinger, 8:30 Sunday.
You can get it pumping. You can get it jumping. You can get it launching a boat.
A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. Victoria Bitter. You can get it dipping. You can get it tipping. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
At Truscott Hi-Fi, every plug leads to a bargain. Toshiba 109cm 50Hz rear projection TVs, $500 off. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
When are you going to get here? Look at a bus. Then get a taxi. Fellas, we need you. But what?
Oh, you joke. Hey, Dave. Baz and Kev aren't coming. Flat factory.
I told them. They should have got a century. So who looks silly now?
Macca was meant to help Tony fix his trailer, but he went to the footy instead. Jonesy was meant to lend Tony his welder, but he went to the footy instead. Tony went to Steel Plus. Saved money, saved time, made the last quarter. At Steel Plus, we do more than sell it. We cut, bend, weld, and fabricate. Steel Plus. Real steel supermarkets, working hard 6 days a week. So you don't have to.
Discount City Carpets, your one-stop flooring shop, guarantees Adelaide's lowest prices on its massive range of carpets, timber flooring, rugs and vinyls. No matter what price you get elsewhere, Discount City Carpets will beat it, guaranteed. You must see the latest release of ceramic tiles, the Builder's Choice, a stunning range of 14 styles of floor tiles in today's subtle colours. The Builder's Choice range at Builder's prices.
Discount City Carpets.
Superstores and Super Warehouse, guaranteeing the lowest prices.
Hi, Kate, it's your mother. You probably should take better care of your parents. But at least you can take care of yourself without feeling guilty, because your favourite Asian noodle soups are now 97% fat-free.
Is Dad here? Will you ring him, Mum?
McCain Healthy Choice is looking after yourself.
Easter is a time of giving and sharing with Ferrero Rocher. Hazelnut in a rich cream, encased in wafer and delicious chocolate. Ferrero Rocher, the gift you'd love to receive this Easter.
At Truscott Hi-Fi, every plug leads to a bargain. LG 109cm rear projection flicker-free TVs, $400 off. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
The Panel, 9:30 Wednesday on Channel 10.
Package coming in. Brett Burton taking that spectacular grab which resulted in a goal, but unfortunately for Adelaide and Brett, he landed very awkwardly, and as we saw, limped off to the rooms, was carried off to the rooms just before half-time. Let's head down to the Adelaide rooms now. Here's Mark Doran.
Thank you, Jason. Couldn't quite get into the rooms, but on the way there had a chat to John Reid from the Adelaide Footy Club, who was shaking his head, said Brett Burton will not come back out. At this stage, they're hoping it's only strained ligaments, but it looked very serious, and as Brett limped past just here, he was cursing. You can just almost see the right ankle as it falls. He got up with the momentum and the adrenaline to kick the goal, but there you go. He starts to hop, and it just got worse and worse, and he came straight off, and unfortunately for Adelaide fans, we won't see him again today.
Bad news there for Brett Burton and the Adelaide Crows. They've certainly got their work ahead of them. They trail by 4 goals at half-time. They would love to come back and win this game. It has great significance for their football club, because one of the great leaders of Adelaide in their 12-year existence has been Mark Bickley. And today he becomes the 3rd Adelaide Crow to play 250 games for the club. On the eve of this game, I caught up with him and asked him about the long-distance journey that a young kid from Port Pirie coming down as a 17-year-old to the Big Smoke in Adelaide has gone through over the last 13 years.
It is really, once again, when you start out playing, you don't know if you're going to play 1 week or 1 year or 10 years. So to be able to hang in there for as long as I have and to get to 250, yeah, it's pretty satisfying. But I think it means more looking back than what it does, you know, at present.
The timing of your career coincided neatly with the emergence of the Adelaide Crows. It was a pretty useful union.
Well, it was. I'd had, you know, lucky enough to have 2 years with South Adelaide just beforehand. So I was 21, 22 when the Crows were born, and yeah, like you say, perfect timing. And there's a lot of great players that just were coming to the end of their career as the AFL scene was unfolding. So for me to be, you know, starting off was just a blessing for me.
And special to make the 250 mark. You're the 3rd Adelaide player to do it, along with Nigel Smart and Ben Hart, 2 blokes that you've played a hell of a lot of footy with.
Yeah, look, it's just been fantastic. I was unlucky not to be able to play with Nigel in his 250th. I was out suspended, so last week meant a real lot to play with Ben and to have a good win, and to see him be carried off the ground was fantastic. So I got a lot from that, and you know, hopefully we can have a win, and I can enjoy, you know, my game as well. Any times during your career that the 250 game milestone seemed an awful long way away? Yeah, I think probably during the year 2000 when we weren't enjoying a great period, and we missed the finals, and you know, I wasn't playing really well, and I probably thought I was going to retire at the end of the year. So in the end, I decided to play on. Played 2001, played 2002, and things started to go all right. So I've been able to hang in there. But probably at one stage during that year, I was probably a 90% chance of retiring at the end of that year. You gave retirement plenty of contemplation throughout 2002, and then you decided to saddle up and go again. 6 or 7 months after the decision, how is the body? Are you glad you decided to continue? Yeah, I am. Look, I just think that the opportunity that we have is very good. That, you know, the chance of success are fairly high. Our list is good at the moment. Our injuries are pretty sound. So you know, I just think that if things go well, we can play a big part in September, and that's what we play footy for. So look, I'm just hoping that you know, this one final crack at it will, you know, do something worthwhile. When it's all said and done at the end of the day, how would you like Mark Bickley, the footballer, to be remembered? Oh, look, that's not for me to say. I just go out there and do my best each week, and hopefully people will appreciate that. And look, I've been lucky to enjoy some success, and I know that winning the premierships in 97 and 98 gave a lot of people a lot of pleasure. So, you know, hopefully we can, you know, go around one more time and give some more people some more pleasure in South Australia and beyond this year, and that'd be a nice way to go out, I think.
So congratulations to Mark Bickley, playing his 250th game this afternoon, but the Crows have got some work in front of them. Can they come back? They've trailed by 24 points at half-time. We'll be back shortly at the Telstra Dome.
10 news updates. American forces call in reinforcements as they launch another massive blitz against Baghdad. New doubts about Saddam Hussein's fate, with a new video showing him being mobbed by supporters. An incredible escape. One woman survives a fiery plane crash in America that's killed 6 of her companions. And authorities warn suspected carriers of the deadly SARS virus could be quarantined on landing in Australia. Details 10 News.
Have you ever felt like you were being watched?
I got this scumbag at my mother's bedroom window.
What if a peeping Tom was watching you?
All the women to perv on you had to pick a magistrate.
And saw something he shouldn't have.
I know where a body's buried. One that no one knows about.
Aussie drama's so good.
Police!
You can't take your eyes off it.
Get down on the ground.
With a twist you won't see coming.
Hey, Mum, I've always thought that you were honest. I don't think I could cope if I found out that you weren't.
All new White Collar Blue, 9:30 Monday on 10.
Call Jim's Mowing on 131 546 and we'll not only mow your lawn, we'll also do your weeding. Call your local Jim for more than just mowing.
When are you going to get here? We'll get a bus. Then get a taxi. Fellas, we need you. But what?
Oh, you're joking. Hey, Dave. Baz and Kev aren't coming. Flat battery.
I told them. They should have got a century. So who looks silly now?
There's ordinary snacks.
I'll give you a schmackos.
Or there's schmackos. Lip-smacking snacks packed with real beef.
Want you, Bluey?
Would you like a home loan that gives you the power to win? What about a home loan that gives you the power to pay off your debt faster? Visit a Power Home Finance store to find out the benefits of the Power Loan. The Power Loan is ideal for debt consolidation, investment properties and portfolios, accessing additional funds, and purchasing a new property. Drop into a Power Home Finance store at Westfield TTP or Marion, or phone 82327977 to find out how a Power Loan can help you.
The Office Easy range is on sale at Mile End Office Furniture with another 10% off our low prices. Desks from $134. Returns now $89. Mobile pads now $161. Bookcases $125. Half-door storage now $179. Corner workstations $35 off, a crazy $314. In takeaway packs or assembled. Office Easy, only at Mile End Office Furniture.
Call Jim's Mowing on 131 546 and we'll not only mow your lawn, we'll also clean up your yard. Call your local Jim for more than just mowing.
Half-time at the Telstra Dome. It's the Saints by 4 goals. 9-6-60 Adelaide, 5-6-36. They led by 19 points at quarter time. Wayne, that lead got out as much as 43 points 9 minutes into the second term before the Adelaide Crows started to edge their way back. But the Saints explosive in that first quarter and a half.
Oh, look, they've been most impressive. I just think their willingness to share their workload, not be relying on one particular player. But the thing that's really stuck out for me is the pressure that St Kilda's putting on their opponents when they don't have the possession of the ball.
Clearances 20-11 in favour of the Saints. We isolated that as an area before the game where Adelaide are very strong. St Kilda traditionally have been quite weak.
Well, the Saints have given Adelaide an absolute hiding in the centre square, and Clark and Biglands have got a big ask in the second half to get themselves and their midfield unit back into the game, and they're certainly getting beaten at their own game.
13 touches to Aussie Jones, 13 to Stephen Powell, 12 each to Rewalt and Hayes, 10 to Hamill. Those 5 players have all been outstanding.
They have, and look, you certainly hope from the St Kilda point of view that they continue that form in the second half.
Just 4 possessions to Mark Rasciuto in the first half, 3 to Wayne Carey. As we take a look at the match stats, and the one that stands out Centre breaks, as you mentioned.
That's the crucial statistic for me. If you don't get clean possession out of the centre square, you're not giving your forwards an opportunity. Adelaide forwards have been starved, and it's not surprising that St Kilda lead by 4 goals at half-time.
St Kilda getting much more of the football around the ground. Adelaide, as we mentioned, just starting to break free late in that second term, and they reduced the lead from 43 points back to 24 points at half-time. So it's still very winnable for the Adelaide Crows. St Kilda have just got to hold their nerve in the third term.
Well, that's the question mark for St Kilda, isn't it? They got off to a good start last week against the Kangaroos. They worked tremendously hard. But look, there's a half a game of football left to go, and Grant Thomas, you'd like to think there has been quite a bit of rotation done with their midfield players, but they're well rested and they'll come home strong in the second half.
Half-time here at the Telstra Dome. It's the Saints by 4 goals. We'll be back with all the second half action right.
Carlton draft. If you want to know how to say that, that's Carlton. Like it's a secret, like Carlton. Like out of the side of your mouth, like Carlton. And draft, that's different. That's more of a surprise. Draft. So think of a secret and a surprise. Carlton draft. And then just stick mate on the end. Carlton draft, mate. No, I've got one thing.
Carlton draft. Draft beer at its best.
Get Foxtel for footy round the clock. Your team, every game, every week. Call 131 999 now and get it on.
Truscott Hi-Fi's huge pre-Easter TV clearance is on now. $200 off Thomson 51cm flat screen stereo teletext TVs. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
Meet Janet. She bought a Simpson washing machine and dryer and suddenly found the time to develop a killer backhand. Next door, Teresa bought a Simpson dishwasher and now has time to discuss current affairs. Tanya bought a Simpson oven, and she then had the time to get to know the new neighbour, Tim. Simpson's time-saving features give you more time for life. Simpson, time for life.
Fellas, we need you. But what?
Oh, you joke. Hey, Dave. Baz and Kev aren't coming. Flat factory.
I told them they should have got a century. So who looks silly now?
Serious about sport? Get Foxtel for the best coverage of AFL, plus Premier League soccer, plus the West Indies Tour live for just $14 a week. Get serious. Call Foxtel on 131 999.
The AFL Premiership Season 2003, brought to you by Carlton, brewed since 1864, and our telecast sponsors, Carlton Draft. Draft beer at its best. Discount City Carpet Superstores. Truscott Hi-Fi, best advice, low price. Booze Brothers. Sky City Adelaide, the place to see footy on the big screen. Bunnings Warehouse, lowest prices are just the beginning. RAA Insurance. And Harvey Norman.
Time here at the Telstra Dome. It's the Saints by 24 points, 9-6-60. Adelaide 5-6-36. They led by 19 points at quarter time. The margin out to 24 points. Koschitzky and Milne, the multiple goal scorers for St Kilda. Ozzie Jones and Stephen Powell with 13 possessions lead the game. Adelaide, Goodwin 12 and John Cock 11. The Crows just coming back from 43 points down midway through that term. Well, let's head boundary side to a man I'm sure is very content with their opening half of football. I speak of St Kilda coach Grant Thomas. He's downstairs with Mark Doran.
Grant, fantastic start. More importantly, you won the first term but won the second. Built on it.
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty fired up for this game this week, and you know, the guys came out and they followed instructions, and I think we got the matchups pretty right, and things are going to a plan at the moment.
The Rewalt move worked beautifully, but when he went forward was the time when Adelaide come back. Will he start on the wing again?
Yes, he will. I mean, he'll start through the midfield and you know, try and press them a little bit, but whether Burton comes on or not, it doesn't matter. He'll pick his appropriate time to go forward and try and hurt them.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, mate.
So 4 goals the difference here at the Telstra Dome. There is another game of round 2 action on this afternoon. It is across town at the MCG between Essendon and Melbourne. If you don't want to know the score, look away now. Almost set to go here for the third quarter action. Can Adelaide continue their comeback? Can the Saints steady in this third term? It's a handy 4-goal buffer. Guaranteed Gary Ayres will have revved his boys up at half-time and they will come out and throw everything they've got at the Saints in this third term. There's the leading disposal getters on the ground in the first half of football. Aussie Jones and Stephen Powell has been outstanding. Jones very creative off half-back. Thompson working hard for the Saints, as is Lenny Hayes. Set to go in the third term at the Telstra Dome. St Kilda leading by 24 points. Biglands will go in the ruck against Capuano. Centre breaks 10-1 in favour of the Saints in the first half. Goodwin was taken high. And he will get the first effective disposal of the second half. So Simon Goodwin leading the game for Adelaide. His 13th possession coming up. Just assesses his options. St Kilda plays flooding back in numbers. Ball goes inside 50. Perry flies over the top of Rewalt, but the man in front has paid the mark. And it is Nick Rewalt. 13 possessions, 6 marks this afternoon. He dishes off to the run of Black. Kicks around the wing. Ball. Brilliant mark. Loose ball and/or free kick against James Gallagher. 8th touch for Luke Ball. His second game of football this afternoon. It's a terrific mark. He is a brilliant talent. Huge raps through the under-18 system, and we're starting to see why. Here's Rewalt. Just racking up the touches now. This is number 14. Squares it up. Xavier Clark. Just backward of the centre circle. Considers going back to Rewalt, then just pushes a bit further forward to Black. He's got to wait under it as Matner charged in, kept his eyes on the football and took the mark. Heath Black. 10th touch for him. He's 75 metres out from goal. Harvey offers the short lead to the forward 50. Koschitzky breaks straight up the middle. A long lead from him is ignored. Decides to thump it long. They'll contest 25 metres out from goal. Smart got his hands on it for Adelaide. Won it at ground level. Managed to get it free, only as far as Powell. Intercepted by McLeod. Powell goes again for St Kilda. He's wrapped up by Goodwin. Ball still alive. Umpire calls play on. John Cock gets it forward. Adelaide try to break off half-back. Biglands. Got some space to work in now. It's Bickley. Can go long. Carey. Inside the forward 50. Fall over at the important moment. Spills to the deck. 20 there. He's got John Cock over the top. And just chips it across and finds him 30 metres out from goal.
Well, they've worked extremely hard for that, the Adelaide Crows. I think the message is coming out from Gary Ayres at half-time. You go with your man, and as a result of that, all the Adelaide Crows players, apart from Wayne Carey, were in the defensive half of the ground. As a result, Mark Bickley certainly struggled for a while to find a target. Unfortunately, Wayne Carey couldn't take the mark, but John Cock has got the opportunity. Much needed goal for Adelaide.
He's kicked 15 goals, 8 in his 26-game AFL career, Graham John Cock. Played every game for Adelaide last season. From 35 metres out, kick on its way. Not too excited about it, and that's why he's pushed it across the face of goal for a behind.
9-6-60 the Saints. Adelaide Crows 5-7-37. So the Saints by 23 points. Harvey has worked pretty hard in that first half. Had the job on McLeod early in the game. Been taken by Powell.
With ex-Bulldog, ex-Demon, looking for ball, and again ball, complaining that he was being held. And a shake of the head. Young man just playing his second game. And Rishudo, the skipper, still on the boundary line, waiting to come on for the Crows.
Just 4 touches, KB.
Yes, he has struggled today. A number of their stars just haven't been able to give the drive. You can't take anything away from the Saints. They've been fantastic in this first half. They're led by 4 goals at half-time. 43 points during that second term. Here's McLeod, the danger man. Beautiful kick out in front. Pounced on by Perry. Trying to give Hutchton the slip. High ball, front of the square. Fraser Gehrig's been fantastic on Carey. Xavier Clark, silky skills, finds Lenny Hayes. A lot of the ball in the first quarter. Gets the go-ahead from Powell. On the burst and the charge, runs to the back edge of the centre square. Penetrating kick, Kashitsky's getting back. Couldn't take a one-hander. McGregor, Watts dives on top of the ball. Kashitsky wants a free kick. And McGregor will get one. Much to the eye of the St Kilda fans. Hart, squeezed up. That last line of defence, finds Goodwin. Came alive in that second term as well. So the Crows found himself under a lot of pressure today from St Kilda. Bassett. And the run comes from Gallagher. Replaced Bowden, the selected side. McLeod, the danger man. The general pounces on it. Runs to 45. Is off target. And again, it's referred pressure because right from the opening bounce, St Kilda have chased and tackled the Crows. And Wayne, even when they're in the clear, they sense there's a St Kilda player.
And that's the most pleasing aspect of the St Kilda side's performance this afternoon. Not prepared just to give a Adelaide Crows player an easy kick. There was another good result there. Andrew McLeod would normally slot those goals through, but due to the pressure, shows that he's human and slotted it behind.
Ozzie Jones, who I reckon is just about back to his best when he was All-Australian and, of course, played in the grand final for the Saints. And he was one of the most exhilarating players in the competition. Then went dormant for a couple of years. Not this man. Harvey in front. Hamill couldn't take on the second grab. Now, has he got a free kick? Because it wasn't a mark.
Halfway into ground, KB.
So Bassett just having that decision explained to him. Harvey just popped it up in front. Let's have a close look. Over the shoulder. And we'll kick the goal in the second quarter. Has been their focal point up forward. Said it 10 times. From just outside 50. Distance is there, not the accuracy. And through for a minor score.
First goal of the third term, increasingly important as time goes by, Wayne.
Yes, it is. Wayne Carey coming off the ground to the Bronx cheers of the crowd. He'll sit down next to Brett Burton, who you can't quite see in that shot, but he just hobbled out on crutches, the ankle still being iced up.
Just the 3 touches to Wayne Carey this afternoon. Long kick out from Hart, clears the defensive 50. Hamill taken in a tackle. Got it to Lenny Hayes. Hayes goes looking for Kashitsky. Milne at the back, almost fell on his chest. Smart flips it over the top. Bassett run down by Milne, still got foot the ball. And John Cock happy to see it to the line as Gallagher comes off to be replaced by Rishudo. So Gary Ayres, a little disappointed with a couple of his senior players who just haven't performed this afternoon. And Bassett just managed to knee it onto his foot and get the kick away. There is Carey on the bench. Harvey and Edwards. The jump ball at ground level. Kick to the square, and there's Kashitsky. Well, he now gets the chance for the all-important first goal in this third term. He's kicked 2 goals in his first game back. He's looked really good. Make it 3. Important goal to the Saints. And the lead out to 29 points.
We've been saying it quite a few times. When we first spoke on the phone, she was warm, friendly, she laughed at my jokes. It was a beautiful thing. We got along like a house on fire. Until what? Until the house caught on fire. And I rang her to make an insurance claim. Hello? Trust? Whatever happened to trust?
Always look on the bright side of life.
What a bonus it's been for St Kilda today. Justin Kashitsky's kicked the goal in the first quarter, the second, and now the third. to bring a smile to the face of Grant Thomas. 67 plays, 38. Capuano in the ruck, taken away by Harvey, tackled by Biglands, crashed into the ground. Got a ball up. So Kosicki in the goal square, with McGregor playing on him, and we see Brett Burton still on crutches after taking that great mark in the second term and kicking a goal, but hurting the ankle on landing. Chance for Baker to Jones. He'll get support from Clark. Clean hands, great touch. One grab player goes wide. Rewalt. He's been a big winner today. Powell's had it 16 times. Hayes had it 15. Rewalt's had it 14, along with Aussie Jones and Biglands on the stretch. Kosicki's going to be a big talent for the Saints up forward. 6'6", strong mark, good kick. John Cock from centre half back goes wide, finds Stengline. Had his hands full today playing on Stephen Milne, who's kicked 2 goals 3. Tawney, penetrating kick. Wolf on that last line of defence heads towards the boundary line with Shudo. It's had a dark day, taken away by McGregor, was it? And he's off target for a behind. 10-7-67, plays 5-9-39. And the Saints led by 19 points at quarter time and 24 points at half time. And the 9-minute mark of the second term led by 43 points. Ball kicking. Well read by Laddams, who's a left footer. So this could be a big turnover. Young man started his career with the Bombers. Now trying to make his mark with the Crows. He'll be kicking from around about 40 metres. Fraser Gehrig on the mark. He's done a great job today. Wayne Carey's been taken from the field. Laddams leans back. It's beautiful kick off the boot. He's hammered it home.
If you need to perform some home improvement magic, jump into Bunnings Warehouse. We have the biggest range at the lowest prices every day. Leaf and lawn rake a low $1.99. Spring flowering bulbs only $2.69. 4-litre flat white just $17.90. Electric blower vac a bargain at $69. Assorted power tools great value at $27.50. And smoke alarms $8.98 each. We won't be beaten on price. And that's guaranteed. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
So Chris Laddams gets his first goal. The margin back to 22 points. It's danger time now for the Saints, because if Adelaide can string together consecutive goals, they'll get some momentum and some belief. So the Saints have to be on their guard for the next couple of minutes. Skipper Aaron Hamill's come to the bench for a spell. He's been replaced by Heath Black. Good day at the office from Hamill so far. 12 possessions, 2 marks, and a goal. For he and Kosicki have been firing up forward in their first games back. Been a huge bonus for Grant Thomas. A ruck infringement. It's going the way of the Crows. Rhett Biglands just looking to work their way back into the game. Tumbles a kick towards half forward. Baker got in front of Stevens, was collected late. Oh, that's silly play to grab the opponent after your teammate's got the ball and he's taken a mark, because under those circumstances sometimes you lose the ball. So the kick fell short. It was intended for Stevens. Baker stood his ground and Stevens arrived late.
Yeah, it's a little bit undisciplined, but as Kevin said, you've got to be careful. If your team already has possessions, you can't afford to come in, give away a silly free kick and lose possession of the football.
KB, why wouldn't that be 50 metres?
50 metres?
50-metre penalty.
For wasting time?
No, just for contacting him late.
Well, that's for wasting time. That's where they play 50 metres. If he's contacted late, it's because he, it's held him up and stopped his flow of play. So it could have been 50 metres, yep. But I thought the ball, they were lucky they didn't get the ball reversed.
Powell to Jones, to Luke Ball. Inside 50, Kosicki's the target. Punched away by McGregor. At ground level, Mattler taken in a fierce tackle by Black. Spills to Burke. Burke to Gehrig. Snaps for goal. He received some body contact. It was enough to push the kick wide. And Gehrig
just needed to balk then, I reckon, Wayne. He's on his left side, and if he had to just sort of feign the kick, could have just come inside then and just popped it through.
Yeah, I've got no doubt he was a little bit hurried in his attempts there, but another great example of Heath Black laying a forward tackle.
Harvey off, Moyle on, and Moyle straight into the action. Will get a possession. Tries to get around Stevens. Gets it to Penny. Penny will thump it long. Kazitsky will fly from behind. Just worked hard under the ball. Umpire said play on. Bassett at the back of the contest. Milne comes to collect him. Dishes to Goodwin. Shepherd laid by Stengline on Black. And they attack straight up the middle. Through Bickley. From defensive 50. Goes looking for Carey. At ground level. Capuano to beat. Capuano dives on top of the ball. Carey wraps him up. Umpire says holding the ball. No attempt from Matthew Capuano to slap it out. And Wayne Carey will get his fourth possession, smack bang in the middle of Telstra Dome.
It's a telling sign, though, the desperation that Wayne Carey is out there trying to get a possession. He takes it up the centre of the footy ground.
Matner slung in his kick. Penny over the top to Rewalt. You just get the feeling the game's up for grabs in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Wolf tries to take on the tackle of Matner. Got enough of his jumper to register the kick ineffective. It's out of bounds on the full. The Crows will counter-attack. They've lifted the tempo. Smart, not looking for Edwards. And Rewalt fist it to the line. But the Crows are definitely gathering themselves for an assault here. The Saints have got to hang on.
Well, great play here by Rewalt, and Wolf there trying to get around Matner, who just held him up. But Rewalt then getting back. So it's a boundary throw in. Taken away by Biglands. Huge frame. Just belts the ball back towards centre-half forward. Bad bounce. It was an ugly bounce for the Crows. Carey goes in hard. He's had his hands full today. To Perry around the corner. Can set it up. They can kick a goal. They can run into the open goal, and Riley should bang it through. He's hit the post. So the young man from the quarter under 18s has missed. So a wasted opportunity. 10-7-67 plays 6-10-46. Saints by 21 points. Moyle from half back. Now the Saints on the rebound. Rewalt is loose on centre wing. Thompson spotted him, just couldn't get back from the man on the mark fast enough. Thompson, 12 possessions today. Started the game on Risciuto, who was benched early in that first quarter. Ozzie Jones, the general now from half back, takes him on, backs himself in. That's the Ozzie Jones of old on the charge. It was a poor handball. Ozzie, second effort, couldn't take it. Taken by Bigland. Backtracks, retreats, conceded ground. Capuano's pulled off the ball. Risciuto is caught by ball, but the free kick has to come back to the Crows. It was a good tackle by Bickley, the veteran. Kicks the ball to the half-forward line. Getting back is Fraser Gehrig. Does well, stands his ground. Defence has been good today, Wayne. I like Luke Penny today. He's taken 6 marks as well.
It's been terrific, KB.
Ozzie Jones, can he set it up? Chip kick. Finds Penny. Mark number 7 goes wide, looking for the veteran. In Burke. Smart. Puts it over the line for a toss back in. Just under 8 minutes left in this third term. Wayne Carey on the bench, along with Matthew Clark. You see there, still 26 more possessions in kicks to the Saints, who got in hard. There's an urgency about St Kilda, taken by Riley, intercepted. Great play by Lenny Hayes. Bursts out of the pack. Kasichi's going to be the target. Rewalt! Couldn't take it. Chance for Edwards. He'll share the ball with McGregor, so the Crows under pressure in that last line of the fence. Hammer the ball out wide, finds Biglands, sets it up. They need some run from half back. Can they get it from Bickley to the half forward line? Standing in front from behind. Max Hutchton outmarks Perry. The gun forwards today have really struggled for the Crows. Full marks to the Saints defence. That man in particular, Fraser Gehrig, to Xavier Clark. He's been outstanding across half back. Now the umpire paid the mark. So Clark will come back.
Stats have evened up this quarter, KB. St Kilda had a lot more of the football in the first 2 quarters. Adelaide have matched them in this third.
Now Fraser Gehrig's coming off. And Hamill was on the boundary line. But he was waved back on. And now he'll take the short pass.
It's a set play, KB.
Towering kick inside 50. Rewalt and Koschitzky are going to be the targets. Biglands claimed the mark. Risciuto just sharing the ball around, finds Tyson Edwards. So the defence of the Crows under pressure. Just over 6.5 minutes left in this third term. And the Saints haven't cracked yet.
So John Cock from half back goes looking for and finding Perry. Dishes off to the runner, Risciuto. He's under pressure, so is Riley. Ball now in dispute. Hayes to Clark and flip it over the top, and the Saints can counter-attack through the middle. Here's Aussie Jones, goes for a run, spears the pass. Stengline read the lead from Kazitsky well and came across and cut it off. It's turning into an arm wrestle. Edwards. Rewald will go back with a flight. Bigland's kept his eye on it. Also held his feet. Clark put the body in to Rewald. Numbers now with the Saints. He looks up inside 50. Hasn't got a lot on, so he'll kick long. Milne will fly. Kazitsky will come from the side. Hart, 2 up and none down for Adelaide. Keeps the ball alive for the Saints. Burke and Hamill. And it's a wrestle for a ball up.
It's a real wrestle at the moment. Now's the time St Kilda have worked tremendously hard to be in this position. They need to stand up now, weather the storm, get to three-quarter time and go from there.
The next goal is so vital in this game. St Kilda get it, the margin's back out to 27 points. Adelaide get it. It's into 15 points and it's a real contest.
I reckon sometimes, Wayne, that like we just saw then with Rewalt, kick the ball over the pack into the open space because you've got Milne there, who's one of the most dangerous small men in the game, who loves to run under the ball.
Goodwin is going to be taken by Hayes, was just high. The arm just slipped up over the shoulder and Adelaide will dodge a bullet. St Kilda fans don't like it, but it was there. And the free kick will go back.
That next goal you talked about, Jason, it's not going to come easy. From ground level, the intensity of this match has just gone up 5 levels.
Goodwin, long kick outside defensive 50. Clark in best position. Rewald, a well-timed fist. And the ball goes out of bounds.
It's just been fantastic today, St Kilda, and I've been praising them most of the afternoon, but the simple things, the tackles, the chases, the spoils, the pressure, the disciplined things that you need to use as a basis as your team structure have been wonderful with the Saints this afternoon.
Adelaide have evened up the stat sheet in this third term, and you can see that from the, I guess, the lack of clear breaks. St Kilda in the first half were bursting away from the stoppages. Adelaide have managed to shut that down in the third term. Had just about as much of the ball as St Kilda. Rewalt taps it into the path of Black, and the ball goes out as St Kilda. Rewalt taps it into the path of Black, and the ball goes out of bounds. Again, another stalemate. We haven't seen many in this game. It was free-flowing in the first half. But this third term has tightened right up as Perry comes off to be replaced by Biglands. Both sides maybe just looking to a piece of individual brilliance to crack this stalemate. Hamill, the third man up, will try and create something for the Saints. Goodwin stands tall. Been amongst Adelaide's best all afternoon. His 18th touch. Long kick to half forward. Penny got it to ground. Stevens later hit on Jones. Clark, a brilliant tap on the Rewalt. He'll thump it long. 25 out from goal. Kazitsky with Milne at his feet. Hamill there as well for the Saints. And again they pile in. And Adelaide hang on as Burke comes off to be replaced by Robert Harvey.
Toby Clayton's been fantastic. Just his presence of mind, he's made some great spoils just at the last moment. That piece of play there to know, didn't have a chance to grab the ball, tap it onto his teammates' advantage was wonderful play from a young player.
Chance for the Saints, just 20 metres out from goal. Hamill.
Wheels car of the year. Can't get enough of this.
So the Saints by 27 points. Now, Mark, they've made a change on the bench.
There is. Kazitsky has come off looking pretty tired. He's done well, I think, the last 3 quarters at this stage.
I just thought the last couple of times it's gone down to their forward line, Mark, that he's been behind McGregor, hasn't really been able to work his way to the front. So he just might be feeling a little bit tired. The young man has played little football. As we see, it takes 3 Crows to bring down Rewalt.
KB, that's typical of what the Crows will be thinking. The Kangaroos last week knew and said afterwards at 3/4 time they knew they'd be able to run the Saints. I think the Crows would be thinking the same thing. So this last 3 minutes, absolutely crucial.
Mick Rewalt, the face of St Kilda, has had a big game. He's had it 18 times. And it's a ball up, still inside the centre square.
It's okay to think that you run over a side at 3/4 time, but if they keep piling on the goals, it doesn't matter what you do, because in the end, the margin's too big.
Yeah, Rewalt's gone back to the goal square. Brooks, the young man from King Island, taking his turn in the ruck. Harvey the tackler. Martin Bullocker. And ducked. Nigel Smart. Just one of the 3 Adelaide Crows players to play 250 games. Mark Bickley, Smart and Hart. McLeod, quiet day by his standards. Moyle, handy player on the improve. Taken away by Gallagher. Finds Bassett, kicks a high ball back to centre half forward. Penny's been good today, so is Fraser Gehrig in defence. Risciuto has to lift his game. Bouncing ball. Chance for the Crows. Biglands. Can't control it. Cross back in.
Toby, you mentioned the effect of Andrew McLeod. He's had 14 possessions. He had 5 inside 50s in the first half, which is where he's most dangerous. Just 1 in the third term.
Well, all their big guns have really struggled today. They haven't really had a clear winner over St Kilda. And up forward, you know, Perry, Carey, Stevens, just 1 goal between the 3. Here's Baker. Had it and lost it. But the Crows today, I don't think, could really say they've got one player who's beaten their opponent.
No, they haven't. And just on that point, Wayne Carey, I spoke with him early in the week. He said the biggest difficulty he's having playing with Adelaide is when they're going to kick it or if they're going to bounce.
Clark couldn't beat the tackle that time of Harvey. It's a loose ball. And Harvey will take the free kick. On the ball. St Kilda quick to keep that ball moving. Here's Wolf. From half-back, chips it in, looking for Hamill. Got that real presence at centre-half forward, coming through Harvey's ball. He'll take the free kick. He's already kicked 1 great goal. Also took a great mark on centre wing. He's got talent. To 50. Milne looks... Milne has pounced on it. The man with the dancing feet. It's bouncing through! What a goal for St Kilda!
When we first spoke on the phone, she was warm, friendly, she laughed at my jokes. It was a beautiful thing. We got along like a house on fire until...
Until what?
Until the house caught on fire. And I rang her to make an insurance claim. Hello, trust? Whatever happened to trust?
Always look on the bright side of life.
Well, I heard Stephen Milne say during the week he has between 80 and 100 shots at goal every training session. I'm not sure how many of those he practices, but St Kilda's motto a year or 2 ago is expect the unexpected, and that pretty much sums up Stephen Milne. St Kilda in the driver's seat. They lead by 33 points late in the third term. Black ducks under the Smart arm. Ball to Baker, to Harvey. Saints have believed in themselves since their great start. They had a goal on the board in the first 20 seconds of this game. Wolf steps inside Edwards. Time for 1 more. Hamill. Bassett did well to work his way to the front of that contest. Goodwin, been Adelaide's best. Bassett to Matner. To John Cock in defensive 50. Works it to Gallagher. Goes looking for Stevens. Again, Penny right with him. Got it to ground. Wolf taken in a tackle by McGregor. Moyle. Was he legged? Play on's the call. Penny's got it for the Saints. Goes to Harvey. Needs to get it in quickly with 8 seconds left on the clock. Need a kick inside the 50. Schwartz tried to take on Matner. Matner did well.
It was held. Free kick.
Time will expire. Schwartz, I think, will get a free kick. So Schwartz, might as well kick 70 metres from goal. He's going to load up and go to the square. Not going to get there. And it is 3/4 time. St Kilda withstanding the storm, adding 3 goals to 1 in that third term. And they lead at the final change by 33 points.
10 news updates. The battle for Baghdad intensifies. Iraq threatens to resort to what it calls unconventional warfare. Another video supposedly showing Saddam Hussein being mobbed in Baghdad has raised new questions about his fate. Experts still can't say if the tape is genuine. And health authorities warn suspected SARS carriers could be quarantined when they land in Australia. All the details, 10 News.
Tuesday, a brutal roadside murder.
He killed her, and then he came back.
Who could be so vicious?
Ms. Sullivan was overly sensitive.
Who could be so sexist?
Indecent exposures.
Playboy pinups in the break room?
Who could be so stupid as to think Goran won't get him? I'm no idiot.
It wasn't me. I did not kill her.
He was harassing her.
Find out who's gonna pay.
You just beat the crap out of her.
You punished her!
On an all-new Criminal Intent, 8:30 Tuesday.
If you need to perform some home improvement magic, jump into Bunnings Warehouse. We have the biggest range at the lowest prices every day. Garden gloves are low 99 cents a pair. Extension cords 2 for $5. Dulux ceiling paint $29.98. High pressure cleaner a bargain at $85. 20-litre jerry can just $19.95. And gutter guard only $1.97 per roll. We won't be beaten on price. And that's guaranteed. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Truscott Hi-Fi's huge pre-Easter TV clearance. 10 to 30% price reductions on a selected range of TVs. 10 to 30% off. Be quick. Truscott Hi-Fi. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
When are you going to get here? We'll get a bus. Then get a taxi. Fellas, we need you. But what?
Oh, you joking. Hey, Dave. Baz and Kev aren't coming. Flat battery.
I told them. They should have got a century. So who looks silly now?
Discount City Carpets, your one-stop flooring shop, guarantees Adelaide's lowest prices on its massive range of carpets, timber flooring, rugs and vinyls. No matter what price you get elsewhere, Discount City Carpets will beat it, guaranteed. You must see the latest release of ceramic tiles, the Builder's Choice, a stunning range of 14 styles of floor tiles in today's subtle colours. The Builder's Choice range at Builder's prices. Discount City Carpets. Superstores and Super Warehouse, guaranteeing the lowest prices.
Meet Janet. She bought a Simpson washing machine and dryer and suddenly found the time to develop a killer backhand. Next door, Teresa bought a Simpson dishwasher and now has time to discuss current affairs. Tanya bought a Simpson oven and she then had the time to get to know the new neighbour, Tim. Simpson's time-saving features give you more time for life. Simpson, time for life.
Truscott Hi-Fi's huge pre-Easter TV clearance is on now. $150 off TX 68cm full remote stereo TVs. Truscott Hi-Fi. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
Quarter time at the Telstra Dome, and it is from Kilda on the verge of a fantastic win. They lead by 33 points. They've led at every change. 19 points, 24 points, and 33 at the final change. Kaczynski and Milne with 3 goals apiece. All singles for Adelaide. Aussie Jones with 19 possessions, Hayes 18. Rewaltz also had 18 and 7 marks. While for Adelaide, Goodwin with 19 touches, Bassett with 15, Johncock 15. And Wayne, as we mentioned during the call, Adelaide came out and threw everything they had at them, but the Saints did stand tall.
They did. They were terrific in that quarter. They were really getting challenged midway through that third quarter. They stood up, accepted the challenge from Adelaide, rebounded and got a couple of late goals, and they got their noses in front a bit further today.
There's another game of round 2 action on this afternoon. It's across town at the MCG between Essendon and Melbourne. And if you don't want to know the score, look away now. It's all about belief for the Saints. They've shown in 3 quarters of football they can stand tall to Adelaide. They've got another half an hour.
Yes, I suppose that's always been the lingering doubt about St Kilda. They've found themselves in a winning position a number of times last year and even in the first game of the year. But I think that third quarter was so important for their confidence to come out. They did lead by 43 points during the second term. It was whittled back to 24. And if they were going to crack, you would have thought it would have been in that third term. They lead by 33 points. You would think that they could hang on. If they could kick an early goal, then I think that the confidence would be so high that the Crows wouldn't be able to peg them back. Mark Doran joins us.
So the confidence was high inside the St Kilda huddle. Grant Thomas's message was that 2 out of 3, or 3 out of 4 is not good enough. We must win the last quarter. We win the game. Simple as that. That was his message. Contested ball is what St Kilda have to win, and Kosicki had a lot of work done on his hamstrings inside the huddle.
Final term, it's the Saints by 33 points. Capuano and Clark. Clark got the tap out. Tawney tries to get hands on it. Bickley does. Only as far as Harvey. Goodwin taken high. Umpire comes in and says, my ball. Secondary bounce.
Adelaide starting with Perry and Wayne Carey on the bench. And interestingly, they've got Rhett Bigwins, not a noted forward-line player, with Mark Rashudo both coming out of the goal square.
Just trying to mix it up and get something inside 50 working for themselves. Clark got it down to McLeod. He's the danger man. Inside 50. Clark. Towards the wing. To 2-on-1 in favour of the Saints. Burke has got John Cock to beat. And Wolf in support. He can go over the top to Hamill. They worked it well. Hamill to 65 metres out. Squares it up. Here comes Gehrig. Over the top of the contest. Still alive at ground level. Mills kick free. If he can gather it, he can't. Adams picks it off. And goes long to the outer side. Stenglein needs to mark it. He's got 2 to beat. Numbers will win out for the Saints. Baker taken high. Advantage paid. Rewalt. Inside 50. Bassett, the third man up, fists it to the line for a throw in. And Wayne, interesting point you made about Wayne Carey. Just not feeling confident at the moment. Doesn't understand whether the ball's coming long or short from his teammates. He's dominated the Saints in recent games. 24 possessions and 12 marks. He's average against them. Today, just the 5 touches.
Well, he's come from the Kangaroos, who are a very direct football club. Adelaide, high possession side, so there's a time for adjustment with Wayne, and hopefully that happens this afternoon.
Edwards through the middle of the ground to Tawney. Adelaide need a goal. A 2-on-1 contest. Rashudo stayed down. Snaps a goal from 35, the skipper. And his ordinary day continues. Mark Rashudo misses just his 10th possession, averaging 21 a game in 2002.
Just on that Carey factor, Jason, inside the St Kilda huddle, I could almost hear Gary Ayres. He was giving it to his players that much. Looked over Wayne, and Wayne Carey was just hanging out the back with his arms folded. Didn't look overly interested. I'm sure that wasn't the case, but did you notice his body language?
It's a bit flat.
Well, of course, Adelaide have never lost to St Kilda at Telstra Dome, and the last time they met here, the Crows won by 97 points.
They've won just 8 of 38 here, KB, St Kilda, so their record at this venue is pretty ordinary.
Robert Harvey on screen. 17 possessions today for the champ. 12-7-79 the Saints. The Crows 6-11-47. Caught high. Adams will take the free. From centre wing to the half-forward line. Stevens is going to be the target. Penny's been very good for the Saints today. McLeod been a bit quiet. Chance for Tawney. 35 metres out. Can he swing it back? Great snap. He's kicked a goal.
Feeling lucky? Play in the Black Rhino Pokey Tournament for your chance to share in 40 grand. It's free and only until April 17 at Sky City, Adelaide.
It's all about consecutive goals for the Crows. They haven't been able to put 2 together on the trot since late in the second term. They need to just get on a bit of a roll here. Clark, clever tap to McLeod. His kick, again through pressure, only as far as Schwartz. He goes to Harvey. 18th touch for the dual Brownlow medalist. Reach of the voice of Hayes. Hayes can run to 55. Searching kick to the top of the goal square. Hamill goes back with a flight. Couldn't quite take it on his chest. Burke at ground level. Still alive. Gallagher tidies up for Adelaide. Goes to Johncock. And he goes out wide and finds Stenglein. Was taken high in that marking contest. And will get the free kick. 13th touch for Tyson Stenglein. Around the wing. Finds Laddams. Plays on quickly. To half forward. Tawney's got to go from the back. Stevens was just out of that contest. Penny had the front spot. Won the free kick. As Clark switches it wide to Gehrig. Raking left foot to half forward. Hamill working hard again. 15 possessions, 3 marks to Aaron Hamill. He can go over the top to Max Hutchison. Doesn't kick a lot of goals. Maxie from 25 metres out. Slots that one. Go to the Saints.
Carlton draft, please.
Brewery Fresh Carlton Draft. Draft beer at its best.
Saints by 32 points. Good hard running from Max Hudson. And they've run far too hard today for the Adelaide Crows. We'd like to say they've been a bit flat, but that would be taking something away from the urgency and just the enthusiasm of St Kilda today. And a good defence backed up by a good forward line and strong tackling midfield. Clark fired out the hand pass, couldn't find Stevens. Didn't hit too many targets today. Loose ball taken away by Harvey. The Saints have won a lot of one-on-one contests. They've got numbers for the ball. And that was shoveled over the line. So a free kick will go to Stevens. Goes short. Coming across, take the mark is Gallagher, who came to the side to replace Bode. So he's just outside of 50. 85 plays 53. Just under 16 minutes left in this last quarter. This will be a boil over. Not too many people expected the Saints today to threaten the Crows. Edwards chips in and takes a chest mark. Tyson Edwards. 13 possessions today. Goodwin with 19, McLeod with 19. The leading possession winners, but they haven't really cut up St Kilda today. Important kick for the Crows. Edwards on a 45-degree angle. He's nailed it. Crows still alive.
He says he loves her, but he treats her bad and dislikes her friends.
I wanted Gabriel to have dinner with us tonight.
Next time tell me and I won't come.
Is this the real you? Because if it is, I don't want any of it.
Is this the end? Secret Life of Us, 8:30 Monday.
Look out. Do you find farts funny? That's disgusting.
Tuesday sees Sporty Spice Melanie C, Natalie Imbruglia, Jerry O'Connell, and the Violent Femmes live.
It wasn't the sound we rehearsed.
At Chock-a-Block Road, Tuesday on 10.
Tyson Edwards' goal brings it back to 26 points. Adelaide need a couple in a hurry to get excited. Capuano jumps into Clark. Here's Edwards at ground level. Here's a chance through Johncock to Tawney. He thumps it long. They'll contest at the top of the goal square. Bigland's kept his feet. Goes to the back, off the chest of Thompson, and through for a rush behind. It's been hard yards inside forward 50 for Adelaide today. Perry, 7 possessions, 2 marks. Mark Stevens, 6 possessions, 2 marks. And Wayne Carey, 5 possessions, no marks. So to just have four marks between those 3 key forwards indicates how difficult scoring has been for the Adelaide Crows. Just 8 goals for the afternoon. Aussie Jones goes looking for Hamill. Kick cleared him. Wolf tries to keep it in, can't do so. Another throw in.
And on the other side of the ledger, Jason, it's been such an even performance from the St Kilda side. There's 13 players that have now amassed more than double-figure possessions.
Austin Jones with 20. Harvey Hayes Rewalt with 19. Powell's at 17. Hamill 15. Throw in. Plenty of players around this one. Bassett flicks it to the front. Here's Edwards. Around his body. McLeod tried to force Harvey off the football. Harvey took it with him. And another throw in as Bassett comes to the bench to be replaced by Perry. And Wolf comes off. Stephen Powell back into the game for the Saints. Hamill from the ruck contest to Moyle. He's taken in a tackle by Laddams. Ball still alive. Laddams at ground level. Hamill shunts Edwards out of the way. Comes to Harvey. Tumbles a kick towards the wing. Powell got a bad bounce. Spills to Bickley at the back. Burke comes from behind to take in. Bickley got the kick away. Again, Penny has just managed to work Stevens under the ball. We've seen that numerous times this afternoon. Playing a great game, Luke Penny. And the kick found a target. It was Black. The Saints are up and running. Kick towards full forward. 30 metres out from the St Kilda goal at ground level. Burke tried to swoop on it. Johncock collected it for Adelaide. Here's the danger man, Mill, from the boundary line. Twinkle toes. Steps inside Matner. Sets up a goal by handballing over the top to Burke, and he hits the post. Almost from the identical position that Daniel Wolfe did last year in the draw against the Swans. Nathan Burke from 3 metres out thunders it into the woodwork.
Thanks for reminding us there, Jace. But Nathan Burke, that was a terrific piece of play. Unlucky not to be rewarded with a goal. He laid a tackle on Mark Bickley, half-back flank. Laid another tackle in the forward line there. It could have been rewarded with a much appreciated goal.
Wayne Carey back on for the Crows.
Hart to McLeod and finds Tawney as they attack around the outer side.
And Luke Penny's going to pick up the king. Here's a chance for Stenglein. Inside 50, Rashudo's the target. Couldn't take it on the stretch. Hamill works hard. Got Hutchinson in support. Capuano retreated. Finally gives across to Black. Just tumbles the ball forward. Chance for Ozzie Jones to run with the ball. Backs himself in. He's always confident when he likes to run. Take him on. Right to 50. Punched away. Couldn't take the ball this time. Here's McLeod. They were looking for Stephen Powell. He's just come onto the ground for the Saints. Gallagher. Inside 50. Tries to spot it up. He's looking for Ladham. It was a poor option. And punched back over the line for a toss back in. 13-8, 86 St Kilda. The Crows 8-12-60. They trail by 26 points. Just over 12.5 minutes left. Xavier Clark on screen. One of the young guns for the Saints. Standing up today against the might of the Crows. Star-studded lineup, but they have struggled. Key forwards haven't been able to get into the game. Midfield players haven't really been able to exert a great influence. And the St Kilda forward line has worked very, very well.
Adelaide are noted for their physical attack on the ball, but St Kilda have certainly beaten them in that department today. They've also been extremely good at accepting the tackle, keeping the hands free and freeing up a teammate.
Chance for Ozzie Jones. Ball came from Goodwin. Goes wide, so great kick. Without breaking stride is Max Huxton. The confidence is high in the St Kilda side. He's gone! He actually beat his opponent. It was great chasing by Biglands, but then he stepped back into his line. Hard on the rebound. Can they set it up? Harvey read it well, the general, under pressure. Two wise heads combined. Burke, now a young gun. Xavier Clark rockets the ball forward to Baker, under pressure to Harvey. Makes the numbers inside the centre square, inside 50. Rewalt! What a grab! The young and an old. Harvey to Rewalt. Burke was involved as well back in the centre square. So was Xavier Clark. So we saw the best of the veterans and the best of the young guns. They lead by 25 points. Make that 26 points, St Kilda. And Nick Rewalt, a chance to get these St Kilda fans absolutely roaring at Telstra Dome. The Roar will tell the story. 45 metres out, Rewalt. Can't bend it back. Through from behind. 27 points to Saints.
Well, the St Kilda coaches box painted blue today as part of a sponsorship promotion, but they're not feeling too blue in there at the moment. 27 points their lead. They've done very, very well all afternoon. Edwards towards half forward. Hutchinson got a hand on it and brought it to ground. Smart. Hutchinson goes again, a second effort. Ozzie Jones cleaning up as he has so often this afternoon. 23rd and now 24th possession of Ozzie. Around the wing looking for Rewalt. Just too much on the kick, but it finds the line. Jones leads the game with 24 touches. Harvey's had 22. Rewalt 20 with 8 marks. Hayes 19, Hamill 18. In a very balanced, even performance from the Saints today. The youngsters have stepped up. The senior players have led the way. And St Kilda fans enjoying it. Why not? They haven't won a game for 250 days since their last premiership win. It was in round 17 last year against the Dockers. Here's Hart. Gives it to Johncock. Goes to full forward. Rashudo tries to work Thompson under the ball and does so successfully. Takes the mark 15 metres out directly in front as Wayne Carey again makes his way to the bench.
He's looked very rusty today, Wayne, and of course missing all of last season. Came into the Wizard Cup and last week booted 4 goals last week. But it gives you the impression, Wayne, that the game last week's taken a bit out of him.
Yes, I think you're right, Kate.
I don't take anything away from Fraser Gehrig and Penny, but he has looked very slow today.
Does, and also I think a contributing factor has been the delivery into the forward line too. Adelaide have been a bit off the boil in the delivery, and it certainly makes the job hard for a forward.
As Rashudo converts, he gets his first for the afternoon. Rashudo's goal reduces the margin to 21 points at the 15.5-minute mark. Still time for the Crows. The Saints just need to get the next one.
As Clark comes charging in. Very good at getting his hands on the ball. Chance for Bickley. And their older players, the veterans, lift. John Cock goes to the ground. Capuano was good in the contest. Take 2 by John Cock. Couldn't take it second time. Clark over the ball, just paddling the ball out. Tawny's over the top as well. John Cock again, a second effort.
Carey and Mark Stevens on the bench for the Crows. You can see them there warming down. That might have been a chance to happen this late in the last 10 as we went into the game, because a lot of people thought the Crows would be winning by that much.
It's a good point, Mark. And of course, the big guns up forward were expected to kick goals, but only one through Perry, Carey on the forward line, and Stevens. So the Saints maybe under a little bit of pressure. Under 9 minutes left. They lead by 21 points. Another goal to the Crows, and we wonder if the self-doubts will come into it for St Kilda. So a free kick to the Crows at centre-half back. Nigel Smart goes wide. The run comes from Hart. So danger here for St Kilda. Inside 50. Rashudo getting back, couldn't get there. Good play by Clark. Forces the ball over the line for a boundary thrown, but it's just 40 metres around from Adelaide's goal. So we see there's Swars just with the ball, hasn't made any attempt whatsoever to knock that ball out of the contest. So it's a boundary throw in. Clark against Capuano. Goodwin, wild handball, pounced on by Xavier Clark. Loose player is Fraser Gehrig. Marks at half back. 13-9-87 the Saints. The Crows 9-12-66. Saints by 21 points as Hamill marks at half-back. They led by 19 points at quarter-time, 24 points at half-time, and 33 points at three-quarter-time, the Saints. The margin now is 21. Ozzie Jones, short, finds Powell. Leads on from Harvey, that's been ignored. Goes for the longer option, it's Rewalt. Didn't take it quite on the second grab. Good defensive play by Hart.
The message has come out, Wayne, for St Kilda to shut this game down.
Yeah, I still think there's enough time. I think you've got to be very careful. If you play possession football, sometimes that can get unstuck. They've played their football today like Adelaide normally does. Look, you've done well. Why change the game now? Continue playing the merry way. When it gets down the last couple of minutes, perhaps you start thinking more so about shutting the game down.
Here's a chance. This is what can happen on the counter-attack. McLeod will come away. It's a wide-open forward line. Rashudo the target. Great fist from Hudson. And then he goes and lays a tackle. Still numbers there for Adelaide. Gallagher to Edwards. McLeod can get it and go. He can load it up from 55. Just chips it over the top. Stenglein can trot in and kick a goal. He has. It's 15 points the difference at the Telstra Dome.
So how's your truck going, Bill? Oh, right. What about yours? Yeah, can't complain. Hey, isn't that Jono? Hey, Jono, get over here, mate. So you've got a new Ford Courier Turbo Diesel. So how's it going?
Bloody beautiful, mate.
Oh,
The new Ford Courier Turbo Diesel. It's got what the others are missing, including a free bull bar and air conditioning.
Oh, nice.
The Crows now just trail by 15 points. 13-9-87 to 10-12-72. As Clark comes charging in, taken away this time by Powell. Wild handball, finds Burke, does well, gets his boot to the ball. Chance now for Swars, caught up in the tackle, loose ball, comes to Powell, rockets the ball towards Harvey, under pressure from John Cock. Perry comes away from half back. Some danger signs now for St Kilda. Tyson Edwards goes to ground, quick to recover. Here's a chance for Latham, drops the ball in, Risciuto! All of a sudden, the Crows can sense maybe victory for the first time today. The Box working overtime. Grant Thomas, Matt Rendell, the St Kilda Brain Trust, and Laddams with his beautiful left foot in front. And Risciuto is usually a very reliable kick.
Makes a difference when the Crows players have space and time to look up, spot a target and use delivery by hand or foot in a normally good fashion, as they normally do.
He's kicked 1-1. Both scoring shots coming in this final quarter. Risciuto. There's a great camera shot. From 35 metres out, Mark Risciuto kicks a goal. They're within 9 points.
Oh, you're kidding.
Pressed for time? Try new grills from KFC. With tender marinated chicken, salad and Swiss cheese. It's deli-style food, grilled to go. New grills. Now good things come to those who can't wait.
McLeod with 9 possessions in the final quarter. 3 of those going inside 50, which is where he's at his most dangerous. He and Tyson Edwards starting to get busy in the midfield. It's just 9 points the difference. We played 21.5 minutes in the final term. Just over 6 remaining. Laddams again out of the middle. Ball inside 50. Gehrig underneath it for the Saints, and he goes back and takes the mark. St Kilda's last win was on July 28 last season, 250 days ago. And Stephen Powell has it at defensive 65. The runners stopped for the Saints. We noticed it about 5 minutes ago. Penny. The mood just changed. The Saints started to shut it down. And Adelaide have just kept on going. Clark will take it to the line, and we will have a throw in.
Crows just starting to win some important clearances around the stoppages at the moment.
Clark against Capuano.
This is dangerous because Clark is very good with his hands.
Got the tap down, but Harvey was on the right side of the pack. Wins it for the Saints. They need a steadier. To Moyle. He'll gather. He's on his wrong side. Kicks it inside 50. Milner chance. He's got it.
Isn't that good play? Because Moyle on his non-preferred side, you would think the ball would drop short. He wouldn't have the same penetration. And Milner was clever enough to work his way to the front.
Yeah, good piece of play from St Kilda there. But Robert Harvey, that was where the play was set up. Drew the direct opponent, was able to free up Moyle. And like you said, KB, on his opposite side of the body, Stephen Milne read this. Importance of being in front. Who better would you like to be taking a kick for the Saints at the moment?
He's kicked 3. In different circumstances, he may run around the man on the mark. I don't know that we'll see it here. You just keep it simple. They need the goal, and they get it. Milne's got his 4th, and the Saints steady at the Telstra Dome.
Harvey Norman, your digital camera specialist, has a mountain of Fuji digital camera deals. Like the hot 2-megapixel Fuji A202 digital camera at the great price of $279.95. Or how about the 3-megapixel Fuji A303 digital camera with a 3x optical zoom at $749.95, save $50. And just look at the Fuji S602 digital camera with a 6x optical zoom, now only $1499.95, save $200. The best range, price and advice for the Harvey Norman, your digital camera specialist.
Stephen Milne, that man on screen, has booted 4 goals. We've played 24 minutes into this last quarter. The Saints by 15 points. Clark over the top to John Cock. Streams out of the centre square. McLeod it was to Tyson Edwards, 50 metres out. Long bomb. Big bomb. Big goal. Can you believe it? Straight away they've hit back. And again, the Crows within 9 points.
They're the two, Edwards and McLeod. Lane, we said they need to match them up, and they are almost single-handedly dragging Adelaide back into this game.
They did, and we also mentioned, Jason, the importance of a clean getaway at the centre square. St Kilda did well to get a goal against the flow of traffic, but they've let themselves down there, allowing Adelaide, McLeod, Edwards, clean possession, and a great goal and a great reply for the Crows.
Time's the enemy for Adelaide. That is the best possible result. Straight out of the middle, no mucking around. Straight down for a goal. And it's back to 9 points again. We've gone 25 minutes in the final term at the Telstra Dome. Still plenty of time. Clark looking for another centre break. Stengline couldn't quite get the ball effectively. Black wins it for the Saints. It's a foot race now. Tawney leads Xavier Clark. Clark works his way to the front. They both go to ground. Rewalt there to support. Got boots of ball and the Saints are away. Here's Powell. He can run to 65. He runs to 55. Long kick to the goal square. They get back. It's 2-on-2 at ground level. Milne. He's got 5.
What do you do when you can't get Hollywood's hottest star for your movie?
We're making this movie with Kit Ramsey, except he won't know he's in it.
Improvise.
His fear is so real.
Steve, Eddie and Heather in Bowfinger, 8:30 Sunday.
Nick Fallon is in love with another man's wife, and he's just been given the chance to destroy him.
Well, he's a friend.
No, he's not.
Will he be able to resist the temptation?
Come on, let your hand off me.
All New Guardian, 8:30 Wednesday.
Absolute fantastic job for the Saints today. Saints by 15 points. 5 goals to Stephen Milne. He's booted 5-3 today, including the first goal of the game to kickstart the Saints. 15-9-99 pays 12-12-84. The Crows won't go away. Stengline takes the hand pass from Edwards, pumps the ball deep inside 50. Couldn't take it, was Bassett. McLeod! He's kicked a goal! They won't go away, the Crows. And twice now they've hit back quickly by Tyson Edwards, and now Andrew McLeod. And again it's back to a 9-point ball game. What a fascinating contest.
Yeah, it's terrific. They managed to get another clean possession out of the centre square, and that's where the goals have come from in the last quarter. Adelaide, when they get a free run on the ball, players such as McLeod run into space, they're very dangerous. Now's the time that if I was Grant Thomas, I'd be encouraging some players up in their forward line, get behind the ball, just congest things up in their defensive half.
7 goals in 11 and a half minutes of football. 5 to Adelaide, 2 to St Kilda. An amazing final term. Plenty of twists and turns. It's 9 points the difference. We've played 27 minutes.
Adelaide only able to kick 6 goals in 3 quarters. They kicked 7 goals in this last term.
And still 3.5 minutes. Here's McLeod again. Inside 50. Smart against Schwartz. Schwartz has got it. Wonderful contest. He goes wide and finds Moyle. At least the Saints have looked a little bit more offensive in the last couple of minutes. They've gone forward themselves. They haven't just shut up shop completely.
Just over 3 minutes left.
And it's Moyle. High kick to the wing. Hamill will fly for the Saints. Clark got it down only as far as Harvey. Rewalt wrapped up in a tackle by Stengline. And we'll have a bounce. McLeod up to 26 possessions. Edwards 23. They've had 12 and 11 respectively in the final term. And look at that stat. Hit out 13 to 1. You can see why Edwards and McLeod have been so dominant. Matthew Clark has given them an armchair ride in this final term. Rewalt's now gone into the ruck to try and just body him, negate his effectiveness. But he goes again, Clark. Stengline waited. Harvey attacked it. Rides a butt from Bickley, stood up. Dished off the handball to Baker. Baker to half forward, walks his target. It spills to the back, Milne. Taken in and tackled by Mattman. Milne goes again. Sockers it into the path of Powell. He's got John Cock to beat. They both go to ground. And Adelaide survive through Gallagher to Perry. They've got some space, but they don't have much time. Must move it quickly. Goodwin the target. Hayes set up well. Play on's the call. Hamill thumps it long. Wolf will fly again. Over the back of that contest, inside 50. Numbers there for Adelaide. Laddams to Stengline. John Cock in trouble behind the play. To Bickley. And the Crows are away again through the middle of the ground. Bickley in his 250th. Goes looking for Tawney. He's got Clark to beat, and he does. 45 metres out, Jason Tawney. We've gone 29 minutes. There's 1 3/4 minutes remaining. This to reduce it to 3 points. From 52 metres. The kick will go right to the line, and he misses. An important miss, that one, as Johncock limps to the line. He's not even coming through the gates. He's gone. Replaced by Brett Riley.
Ozzie Jones to bring the ball back into play. The Saints by 8 points. Roger Gehrig will slow it down. Looking for Powell. Goes wide. He's got 2 against 1. A dangerous kick. The kick was a beauty. Stephen Powell. In no hurry. The Saints are about to cause a big upset. 99 plays 91. 23 possessions to Stephen Powell today. As he just hugs the boundary line. Hamill's going to be the target. Slaps on. Looking for Milne, the danger man. He's booted 5 goals today. McLeod just caught in 2 minds. Goes short. Bad decision. Taken by Black, who's a thumping kick. Telstra Dome will come alive if Black can go back and kicks this goal, because it's all over. He's Black. Disappointed last year in his first season with St Kilda. Had some injuries as well, coming off playing with Fremantle, where he was second in their best and fairest, but today he's been good. He's had it 16 times. Goes backwards, in fact, to Baker. So Keeping's off, and they go back another 20 metres. So the ball's gone from having a shot for goal from right on 50 to being on the half-back flank. Looking for Harvey. Goes wide, Rewalt. So it's around the world in 80 days. Just a few seconds left in the game. A great roar will go around the stadium because St Kilda has pulled off a huge upset. Adelaide Crows, along with Brisbane, favourites to win the flag this year. And St Kilda has defeated the Crows. And there's Stephen Milne. He's ecstatic. He's booted 5. Hutchton and Rewald embrace. 15-9-99. The Saints by 8 points over the Crows. 13-13-91. Saints takes victory for the first time since July 28, 2002. That's 250 long days. But the drought is over from the boys, for the boys from Moorabbin. Milne finishing with 5 goals, Koschitzky with 3, Hamill 2, singles to Hutchton, Baker and Wolf and Moyle, while for the Crows, Edwards 2, Tawney 2, Rashudo 2. A great return for Aaron Hamill this afternoon as we head downstairs to Mark Doran.
Thank you, Jason. Stevie Milne doing the right thing, giving the boys a shake of the hand, but you weren't giving them much, kicking 5 goals.
No, it was good up to start. We planned this game all week and we had a full list, so it was good to have a win.
You played it a few times. I thought you were home a couple of times in the end. You had to just keep producing.
Yeah, we did. They put Marcus Shooter down forward and he kicked a couple of goals, and I'd kick one, I'd get one really quickly, but credit to the boys. We fight it out and we come out with a win.
During the call, mate, I called you a fair dinkum freak show. Some of the things you're able to do when the goals are around are amazing.
Yeah, I practiced at training and they'd come off during at the game time, so it's good enough to kick 5 goals today, and it's just a good reward.
Hey, the spirit of the boys over there looks fantastic. You better get over there.
Thanks, Mark.
Wonderful day's work for Stephen Milne. As I mentioned, finished with 5 goals. And a wonderful performance from him. St Kilda in nice and tight in the huddle, just cheering each other up, telling themselves to enjoy the moment, Wayne, after a long drought. There's no better feeling in footy.
Oh, look, they deserve it. They came out, they were ready to play from the opening bounce. It was such an even performance. There wasn't one standout player. I think they all carried the workload terrifically well. Their ability to put pressure on Adelaide. Adelaide, a noted side, run, sprint, aggressive attack on the ball. They beat Adelaide at their own game. Just rewards. Look, take your hat off. And it certainly indicates or highlights the point that when you've got a fit list available, it makes a significant difference.
The Saints led at every change. 19 points at quarter time, 24 at half time, 33 at three-quarter time before the Crows did finish strongly. They kicked 7 goals to 3 in the final term, but it wasn't enough. St Kilda 15-9-99, defeating Adelaide 13-13-91. The final margin 8 points.
Got Xavier Clark with me, one of the young blokes in the back half. There was a bit of pressure going on.
Yeah, a bit of pressure, especially when McLeod
bloke come down there and I'd pick him up. I was a bit nervous, but me and Andy had a bit of a joke there at one stage, but no, it was good.
Time for a joke. Gee, that's handy. The spirit in the side at the moment, it's pretty good.
Yeah, well, you know, it's pretty good at the moment, but we're going to keep that low key, you know. We come here expecting to win and we got that, so, you know, it's all good.
It is a fantastic scalp, isn't it, Adelaide?
Oh, great team, and it's great to stop them in their tracks and actually get a win up on the board.
Go and sing the song.
That's right.
St Kilda fans enjoying it. 19,131 on hand this afternoon at the Telstra Dome. And they saw their side get up by 8 points, 15-9-99. Adelaide 13-13-91. Robert Harvey and Aussie Jones with a game high St Kilda high 26 possessions. Powell with 23, Rewalt 21 with 9 marks, 20 each to Hamill and Hayes. For Adelaide, Andrew McLeod with 27 possessions, including 13 in that final term. Tyson Edwards had 11 in the last quarter for 23. Bickley 23 as well. But Wayne, it was all about St Kilda this afternoon.
Yeah, look, as I said before, they beat Adelaide at their own game. They were prepared to run. They had a lot of confidence in their teammate winning the ball. The thing that I liked the most about St Kilda today was just their pressure, especially their forward line pressure, not allowing Adelaide, and they're a noted attacking side from defence, to get easy possessions out of their defensive half, run the ball up through the lines and make plenty of opportunities for their forwards.
It's the all-new Aussie sketch comedy where skit happens.
This is the Commission for Sexual Equality.
Is it? All new skits, 8 o'clock Sunday on 10.
Stock up for Easter with a carton of VBs, cans and stubbies, only $28.99. Vodka Cruiser stubbies, $9.50 a 4-pack or $49 a carton with a bonus long neck. Or Rosemount 6-pack, 2 Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon and Shiraz, plus a bonus bottle of Cab Sav, all for $66.99. Check out the Easter catalogue for other great specials.
Foxtel for footy round the clock. Your team, every game, every week. Call 131 999 now and get it on.
We're off to the city. City dismantlers, of course. It's so huge, the only way to see it is in one of these. Check out the size of this place. There's over 9 acres undercover. All the big names are catered for. Engine reconditioning, bags and tyres, new engine part. It's massive, and the staff have the experience to back it up. Now that's service. Come to the city for all your auto needs. Yeah, City Dismantlers. They're Australia's largest automotive supercentre.
Truscott Hi-Fi's huge pre-Easter TV clearance is on now. $150 off TX 68cm full remote stereo TVs. Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
At Rockers, with double the range down to half the price, it's easy to get your car ready for the Easter long weekend.
26-litre 12-volt cooler warmer, save $10, $85. Save $40 on a Pro Sound CD tuner, $129. Kinso polish buffer reduced to $35.50. That's a $20 saving. 2003 UPD slashed to $16.95.
Check out the Rockers Easter sale catalogue, and from all of us at Rockers, drive very carefully this Easter.
Check the catalogue out now.
Serious about sport? Get Foxtel for the best coverage of AFL, plus Premier League soccer, plus the West Indies tour live for just $14 a week. Get serious. Call Foxtel on 131 999.
What if a peeping Tom was watching you and saw something he shouldn't have?
I know where a body's buried.
Aussie drama's so good, you can't take your eyes off it.
Get down on the ground.
All new White Collar Blue, 9:30 Monday on 10.
The sweet taste of victory, something St Kilda have not savoured since July 28 of last season. 250 days, but the drought is over. Victorious over Adelaide by 8 points. They led at every change by 19 points, 24-33, before running out 8-point winners. Stephen Milne finishing with 5 goals and Justin Kazitsky with 3. Let's head down to the winners' rooms. Mark Doran is with an elated St Kilda coach. I'll try that again. Elated St Kilda coach, Grant Thomas.
Thanks, Jason. I'm not sure that it actually is elated. Normally it's exhausted when a coach comes off a game like that. How are you feeling at the moment, Coach?
Oh, happy to get the 4 points and get across the line. We did some really good things today, and early we played well. And you know, we always knew Adelaide would come back, and they fought back really hard. And it's true credit to our guys to guts it out like they did.
I think they expected that too. That we spoke about at the start of the game. A few of the players underdone that the last quarter would be when they'd come hard. So in that sense, although losing the last quarter, the spirit shown was important.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we won 3 quarters and lost the last quarter, but we were running up and down to one spot with a few blokes, and you know, we'll improve. We'll just keep getting better and better, and that's what we want to do. And you know, I'm just really elated for the players. They've dug deep this week, trained really well, but remained extremely positive, and they've got a good focus on what we're about this year, and I'm sure that win's going to do them a hell of a lot of good.
Listening into your quarter-time and three-quarter-time huddles, and thank you for allowing us to do that. Pressure was one of the key words, just pressure on the ball carrier, and that was a thing that really counted.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt if you let a quality side have free use of the footy, or they'll decimate you. But we knew that had to be fundamental in our game, and we had to not only do good when we had the ball, but we had to exert enormous pressure on them when they had it. And I thought that showed in the first 3 quarters. And whilst we weren't able to put as much pressure in the last quarter with running out of legs, but you know, I thought the guys did a terrific job.
And the skill level from St Kilda, especially early, some pinpoint precision play.
Yeah, we've been working really hard at it, and you know, when you've got control of the footy, it gives you a bit of a confidence, and you know, obviously having good players in your side helps also, and you know, I think they've got a real degree of belief that they'll get out of today, and that'll help them to improve.
You have good days and bad days in the coaching box. I think it was a good day today for many ways, but especially Nick Rewald on the wing, on Burton, worked both ways and continued to work right throughout.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we just had a specific match up there, and the match committee decided that you know, that'd be a good move for us, and we were happy to go with it. And I think that unsettled them a bit early, and thought he did a great job on Burton, and I thought Harvey did a tremendous job on McLeod for the first 3 quarters, as did Thompson on Rashudo, and as did Hayes on Goodwin. So you know, we put our best players on their best players, and you know, we came out on top, and the guys really wanted to win today, and they had an inner belief all week that they could do the job, and if you believe, you're half a chance.
It's a very good scalp to get. Thanks for your accessibility today, and well done.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Could be a fair poker player, Grant Thomas. I'm tipping he's pretty happy inside, but he's just keeping a lid on it, as they say in football. Well, there's another game of round 2 action on this afternoon at the MCG between Essendon and Melbourne. If you don't want to know the score, look away now. Wayne Schwartz, the Saints came to play from the word go today. They kicked the first goal in the first 20 seconds through Stephen Milne. and they were committed, they were physical, and they applied themselves really well.
They were, Jason. The moment the ball bounced for the first bounce, they were ready to play, and they played accordingly. Stephen Milne was terrific. Look, he took a telling mark and kicked a telling goal in the last quarter. But when the ball's on the ground, he is probably the most dangerous player out there for St Kilda. He played a terrific game for them this afternoon.
We've seen the re-emergence of the small forward in recent times. Nathan Brown, a similar role with the Bulldogs, able to just go one out and create match-up headaches for opposition defences. And Stephen Milne last year kicked 50 goals. The question's been put to him this year. He'll obviously receive more attention, but he is just so dangerous one-on-one.
Look, without a doubt, he's going to get their best defensive player, if not like we saw today, Adelaide's best tagger in Stingline. But look, the ball comes on the ground, it just comes into his hands. He creates something out of nothing. A terrific play and a terrific game from Stephen Milne.
And before the game, we set up King Wayne Carey against the heir apparent, possibly, Nick Riewoldt. Riewoldt had a blinder. 21 possessions. Wayne Carey, a bit quiet, but Nick Riewoldt today just went to the fore.
Yeah, stood up really well today. Had a disappointing game last week, and I think you'll find that with any player that's got a lot of pride. They certainly want to bounce back. I thought it was a great move on behalf of the St Kilda Match Committee to start Riewoldt on Burton. They got the match-up they wanted. He went from strength to strength throughout the afternoon. 21 possessions for Nick Riewoldt, and just so dominant. He just provides a target for the players. Look up, they can kick to centre-half forward, know that if there's a contest, if he's not going to mark it, he's at least going to bring it to ground. Very Wayne Carey-like. Yeah, he's very much like Adam Goods. He's got a good aerobic capacity and hard to match up on.
Let's take a look at the match stats. St Kilda had more of the football for most of the afternoon, as evidenced by the marks, 101 to 58. They just managed to get into wide open space so often. Contested possessions quite even. It was that short game into open space. St Kilda just cut Adelaide up.
That is the statistic, Jason. You said that. That's correct. Their willingness to work when their teammates had the ball. So much so that they were able to back their teammates, even when the ball was in dispute, to win the ball, get it out into space, free up their teammates, and just look, they beat Adelaide at their own game today, run them off their legs.
The clearances in the end turned out to be 34 to 30, as we mentioned during the call. St Kilda ranked 15th in that area last year. Adelaide were the best in the business. So for the Saints to have 4 more clearances, particularly out of the middle, as we see their centre breaks, 14 to 8. It just shows that the Saints had a ripping day.
Before the game started, you would have said, I would have objected to the fact that Adelaide would have beaten, St Kilda would have beaten Adelaide in that area, but they really gave them a toweling down today, and it's a credit to them because they didn't win a lot of hit-outs from their ruckman themselves. They readjusted and rode to the Adelaide ruckman. Terrific job by the St Kilda midfield.
Talking of Adelaide, let's have a look at their side of the equation. Andrew McLeod, quiet for so long this afternoon, just exploded in that last quarter with 13 possessions to finish with 27.
Yeah, look, he's a quality player, and he's probably one of the Adelaide players that look a bit quiet in parts of the game, but still, he doesn't have to get the ball too often, and that's a terrific pass to cause some damage. And look, he's an exciting player, but he fought a lone hand today.
He and Tyson Edwards threatened to snatch the game from St Kilda in that last quarter. McLeod with 13, Edwards with 11 to finish with 23 for the day. To have 2 players with 24 touches in that final term, so explosive, able to get forward of the middle as well and just continually pump that ball inside 50. Very exciting prospects. And McLeod, there he is in that last quarter, getting it done himself. Not quite enough in the end. St Kilda being able to manage to hang on for an 8-point win. Well, we mentioned Nick Riewoldt. We spoke about Wayne Carey. Quiet day for him, just the 5 possessions. In his last 4 games against St Kilda, he's averaged 24 possessions and 12 marks. So it just goes to show today just couldn't quite get the knack of maybe playing in that Adelaide lineup.
Yeah, look, I think that's a huge reason why Wayne Carey complaining there, why he's struggling. He's come from a side that kicks long and direct into the forward 50, and he's the focal point. He shares the forward 50 with Stevens and Perry, so there's an adjustment period going on, but look, expect Wayne Carey to bounce back next week.
Certain degree of second game blues as well, I guess, that you do seem to have it often with players coming back from injury, that sort of thing. First game back, I guess you're pumped full of adrenaline, you're ready to go, and you set yourself for that one. Second game back just can be a little bit flat.
Yes, I agree with that, Jason. I just think that their delivery today was below par considering the Adelaide's skill level. He'll improve next week. I'm sure that they'll need him to improve, so expect a better performance from Wayne Carey in Adelaide next week.
So a wonderful win for the Saints. They win by 8 points. Well, this round loomed as a tipster's nightmare at the start of the round. This was probably one of the games, along with maybe Carlton-Collingwood last night, that you would have penciled into saying, oh, I'm pretty confident about this one. The other 6 are up for grabs, but there's still plenty of good footy left in round 2 right across the weekend. And tonight at Subiaco, tough game to pick this one, Fremantle versus Sydney.
Yeah, look, I'm going to have to go with Sydney here, and that's because obviously I played there. But look, if they can get over Fremantle, they've certainly made some big steps forward under the guidance of Paul Roos. Now's a good test to see where they're really at in their competition. Always hard to beat Fremantle over there, so big ask, but I'd like to think they'll get up.
Best game of the year last year was round 22 at Amy Stadium. Port Adelaide versus Brisbane. Expect another tough physical contest tonight.
I would certainly like to be over there watching this one. Two hard sides, aggressive at the football. Could go either way, but you'd have to pick Brisbane on form.
Sunday at Skilled Stadium, Geelong and the Kangaroos. The Roos got a ripping record down at Geelong.
They have. They've got a terrific record down there, and I think they'll be spurred on by the fact that it's David King's 200 league game.
Hawthorn and West Coast down at York Park in Launceston. West Coast very impressive with a win over Port Adelaide last week. The Hawks just failing to get over the final hurdle against the Demons.
They were. West Coast have actually won 2 out of 21 games away in the last 2 years, so a very poor statistic on the road. Look, the cards have fallen their way. Their captain's been suspended, reinstated. Spider Everett's missing from Hawthorn. I'd have to say that West Coast, if they're ever going to win an away game, now's their time.
The final game of round 2 is back here at the Telstra Dome tomorrow between Richmond and the Western Bulldogs. The Bulldogs sensational last week against Geelong, but of course losing their captain Chris Grant for the season.
Yeah, it's a tragic loss for West Coast Western Bulldogs. But look, another small player will be out there gracing the field tomorrow in, I can't think of it at the moment. The small player, anyway, I'll move on. Western Bulldogs, well, I think will get up against Richmond tomorrow in a tough affair.
So that just about wraps it up from the Telstra Dome, where 19,131 people saw the Saints lead at every change. They led by 19 at quarter time, 24 at half time, 33 at three-quarter time, and withstood a 7-goal final term from the Adelaide Crows to eventually run out 8-point winners. Hope you've enjoyed the game. Enjoy the rest of the weekend right across round 2 of AFL action. It's goodbye.
AFL Premiership Season 2003, brought to you by Carlton, brewed since 1864, and our telecast sponsors, Carlton Draft, draft beer at its best, Discount City Carpet Superstores, Truscott Hi-Fi, best advice, low price, Booze Brothers, Sky City Adelaide, the place to see footy on the big screen, Bunnings Warehouse, lowest prices are just the beginning, RAA Insurance, and Harvey Norman.
Good afternoon, I'm Tracy Spicer in the 10 News Centre. Baghdad battered as coalition forces tighten their noose around the capital. New questions about Saddam Hussein's whereabouts after the latest video shows him being mobbed on the streets of Baghdad. And health authorities warn suspected SARS carriers could be quarantined if they arrive in Australia. I'll have more news as it happens on 10 and in the details at 5 o'clock.